There's two kinds of extremist retards in life. So either my son is lying to me or this woman is trying to ruin his life. Yeah, dude, I failed. I should go to prison, but you're going.
Hi, Dillon. This is Dillon Atterberry, everybody. He's
Round 3.
Yeah, he's on the skeleton crew here. We had a no-show.
A no-show.
Crazy.
I hate people. Yeah, it's funny every time.
Yeah, where did you find that chainsaw?
The chainsaw? I found it at my work. My
Yeah.
boss, I was like, no way, a chainsaw? And my boss was like, I'm not looking.
What do you mean you just found a chainsaw at your work? Is it not your boss's?
There's this giant patio area up at a building that was supposed to be my boss's shop.
Yeah.
But they instead turned it into a storage building, so my boss got forced to move into the shittiest, weirder building at the bottom, the one that you've been inside of. That was originally not supposed to be his shop.
Dang.
Yeah, so he got cucked. Because the place up top, at one point, they I think they were doing some unkosher shit, fucking with pigs up there. Like, the meat rack things, and they hang the pig, and it's, from Rocky.
Yeah, I think so.
Like the meat locker hanger things.
Yeah, like all the big hooks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's on
just hanging up a ton of carcasses of old meat.
Well, yeah, but there's no carcasses. It's just the railing where the carcasses would be.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and it's super interesting because it's turned into, there's a woodworking room.
Oh, cool.
That inside that room you see the rail go across and then through a gate or a door that's been shut off, and it goes through a little crack in the ceiling, and then if you go to the other side you see it come out, and it's super cool. I'm kind of a history buff. Anyway, I'm hyped up on Goop Chicken right now at 2 Celsius.
What are you saying right now?
I had 2 Celsiuses. You know the drink?
That's George Janko's drink. I don't know if that's
Shout out
true,
George Janko.
But he's sponsored by them. Sponsor me, by the way. Celsius. Yeah, absolutely.
Celsius. Whip that out.
Whip it out. Whip it and give it to me.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of sick.
The whole company.
I don't actually drink energy drinks. So I don't know how.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
you will after.
But I will if you sponsor me. That's right.
Or every episode that I'm in, I'll just have one and be like, keep the logo out. Some deal.
Yeah, we'd have them out everywhere.
Have a fucking fridge.
That would be sick, actually. A mini fridge. As soon as every single episode.
That'd be so cool if we had a mini fridge.
It would be.
Dude, every man's dream is to own a mini fridge.
Yeah, well, you can put things in it like drinks.
Yeah.
What more could you want?
I don't know. Cold things.
You know when the Bible talks about how you can experience heaven now? Through Jesus Christ?
Oh, yeah.
It's like...
That's what a mini fridge is,
That's what a mini fridge is, yeah.
Experiencing fridges now. Experiencing cold now.
Experiencing heaven now is having a mini fridge in your house with drinks in it.
Yeah. Up in heaven, the first thing you see, not angels or anything. It's a fucking...
I'm not even talking...
Hello Kitty mini fridge. They sold those at Walmart for a bit. I think they might still.
I've had an Arizona Arnold Palmer for the first time ever. Is that what that is?
No.
Oh,
green tea. Superior flavor. An American company. Oh. Sponsor us, Arizona.
Yeah, I think I've only ever drinking 3 Arizonas in my entire life.
Dude, I'm up here right now. I need to be down here.
What?
I'm up here. I need to be down here right now.
No, keep going up.
All right. I'll scooch him. Anyway, so the shop, right?
Okay.
How I found the chainsaw.
Yeah.
Is there this big patio area had a bunch of tires. It had different it had 3 quads, ATVs that were just chilling, unused, broken. I think there was a washing machine or something, like a big sink, a bunch of random shit. And then a 2-post lift, like a car lift, just on its side, underneath a tarp, full on, like coolest fucking thing ever. And we can't have it in our shop because the ceiling's too low. And we can't have it. We could have had it in the storage building.
In the nice one.
Yeah, if, we got to use it.
So why can't you use it? Who owns it? If not your boss?
It's just the universities. But
Gotcha.
Everyone is putting their fucking implements, like tractor equipment stuff, in there. It's a storage building now. Like, we can't get past that. My boss at one point, he and I, for a few days last summer, we were like cleaning the fuck out of it, moving shit into different spots, making it look nice in there. Because I think he was preparing to like make the move. Then he's like, they're bringing a thing in. They're just going to put it in there. We're done.
That sucks.
Yeah. So.
Can I have him on the podcast?
Levi Jarvis?
Yes.
I mean, maybe.
That's such a good idea.
I don't want to ask my boss. I don't want to bring work and play into the same room.
No, okay.
Even though this already is kind of work and play. This whole podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just work for me. But it is very playful.
Dude, it's play when I'm on camera. It's work when I'm in the back, which is rare. I'm never really in the back, ever. That's John.
Shout out to John.
Shout out, John. And there were like at schools, the big like trash, like gray bin things that they move around.
No?
You don't know what I'm talking about? It's like a big tub that's got a handle, and they push around and put
Maybe
trash
I do.
into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like the flat.
It's like a
carts.
mobile garbage can, pretty much.
Yeah. And they would put a bunch of bags into it.
Mm-hmm.
There were 3 of those. 2 big ones and 1 like smaller one. One was filled with water. Murky.
Ew.
Gross. Ew.
Just left outside to rot.
The other big one was dry because someone had drilled a hole in it so that it would drain out.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. The other one didn't have that, so.
Yep.
And then the third one it was smaller, and it had chainsaws and a bunch of dental tools and like, those big like light jig things, like when you're at the dentist where they move the light around.
Yeah.
The shit that we need for these mics, honestly.
Yeah. Yep.
There was one of those, like a big lamp system, just in this one fucking bin. And I see this specific brand of chainsaw that Landon owns a lot of. And I was like, that's cool. I know he likes these. I could get one for free right now. So I was like, Levi, you're just throwing these out, right? And he's like, I'm not looking. And then later at the end of the day, I took it and put it in my car and went home.
That's so rad.
Yeah. So I've been working on it. It's been cool.
Yeah, you were telling me you were just taking it apart.
Yeah, I took it apart in front of my apartment, just out on the patio. I was like a little gremlin.
How similar is a chainsaw engine to a car engine? I'm gonna sneeze. Ooh. Go. Oh, I'm fine.
They both have pistons. They both use fuel. Both use spark.
Yeah.
Very small.
They're both engines.
Yeah, they're both engines.
Yeah, but how similar are they?
I don't fucking know.
Oh, okay.
It's like comparing a fucking small apple to a bigger apple. Like,
so very similar.
Yeah, you just scale it up a bit and do some different shit. Actually, it's a little different.
Okay.
Every car engine is a 4-stroke engine. So it's suck. It sucks in air.
Mm-hmm.
Squeeze. It squeezes the air.
Mm-hmm.
Compression. Bang. The explosion happens. And then blow. So suck, squeeze, bang, blow. That's what it is.
Okay, cool.
It sucks in the air.
My favorite thing.
And when it squeezes, it shoots sucks in air and gas. And then when it squeezes, the spark plug ignites it. Bang. At compression. Right? And then it blows it out the exhaust.
Sounds like me on a Saturday night.
Suck, squeezing, banging, and blowing. Okay. Joe's an engine.
I'm an engine.
Yeah, engine in the sheets. something on the streets, you know?
Up high.
That's crazy. How are we further away?
I don't know how that happened. We used to be exactly...
Dude, my hands look like fucking... Look at that brown...
That grime.
Grime, dude.
Take a shower, dude.
I did shower. You know how hard it is to get fucking goob slob out of your hands? And it's caked in there? I'm sanitized. Especially with these fucking cuts and shit. Makes it hard to like... you know? Anyway. Dude is asleep right now.
I know. I'm trying.
Wake up, Joe. Wake up.
Wake up?
Wake up, dude.
Oh.
Come on. Wake up.
Okay.
Get up. Get out.
Oh.
How's this positioned right now? Kind of shit?
The microphone?
Yeah.
Yeah, just raise it.
Yeah, a little bit.
Why don't we just we could just tie a string. We could just go get a string and some weight and just hang it on the end of the boom.
We could. That'd be kind of funny, I think.
That's all we need to do. And then we could extend these out further because they go out much farther.
There we go.
Sick.
Better?
Yeah.
I'm kind of like a pro. Fuck.
Do you know how to roll your R's?
Yeah, I do.
Do it.
Perro.
No way.
Yeah.
Can you like make a machine gun noise?
That's more of a throat move for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I can do a... Man, I'm on the spot now. I can
feel the pressure.
You know, or whatever.
Oh, whoa, that's wild.
Yeah. Can you not do that?
No.
Is that not like a normal human thing?
No, I knew. So I rolled my R's for the first time maybe about a week ago on an accident.
Like
Jeremiah asked me to do. Yeah. Well, after I didn't know how to do it again. It was I couldn't figure it out.
I couldn't do it again after the first time. It was too good.
No, I have no idea. Jeremiah was telling me just to, you just put your tongue at the top of your mouth and then you just blow lightly and it's supposed to just slap your tongue around.
It's not really like when I'm trying to do a Spanish accent sort of deal. I learned from my ex. She couldn't roll her R's. She was Mexican.
Whoa, and she couldn't?
She couldn't.
Wow.
It's not like it's a fucking, you're Mexican, therefore you can. It's like it's a genetic thing. I don't know. It's a muscle thing.
It's a muscle thing for sure. It's a skill, I believe.
Yeah, skill issue.
It is.
So what she would do instead of rolling her R's, like I say perro, right?
Ooh.
She would do perro, like a D sound.
Yeah,
deal,
that's
like
what I have to do.
Yeah. I kind of like
to
that
compensate.
more. I don't really like rolling my R's. Sometimes it just happens. I don't know how to communicate in Spanish, but I know how to say some words. If I was in high school again, taking Spanish, I'd be fucking it up, you know?
Yeah, you would be.
I got 100 on the Spanish 2 final.
Really?
Yeah,
I think
actually, that's
almost failed both years, 1 and 2.
I'm really kind of ashamed.
Hola.
Nice.
Yeah, dude.
How are we further? I moved the chair closer.
I don't know. That's my Hawaiian. No, I mean, what? That's my Spanish skill, though. I meant to say aloha. I am tired. Wow. The joke was supposed to be that I say aloha as my Spanish. No.
Awesome. Try it. It's got some caffeine. It's tea.
No, it's good.
100% natural.
No,
Fuck you, pussy.
Thanks.
All right. I saw some Mormons today.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, the same ones.
No way.
I was going to pick up this loser. I see these Mormons show up, and I'm like, never mind. I love people.
Yeah, we were walking out to the car, and they saw me through the chain link fence, and they go, "Oh, hey, how's your day? How's your day going?" I don't remember what I said. It was just like, "Sorry, we're heading out. Sorry, guys." And then I just hopped in the car.
Yeah, and I said something probably totally fucking offensive before the door was closed.
Mid closing, actually.
Yeah, mid closing.
Yep.
Yeah, like Oh man, I hate Mormonism. It's a fucked up.
Well, yeah, you've had quite the experience with it.
Yeah, I dated a Mormon.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucked up, dude. That that woman, I wouldn't blame the Mormonism. Oh, actually, I would. Partially. Things did get better after she converted, but not enough better that it was, like, good, you know?
Well, from what you tell me, she sounded insane.
Oh, yeah. I thought about this, like, the other day, like, a week or two ago. I'm like, oh, my gosh, she was this and what? Like, I just started putting all the things I learned about her together in, like, one string of thought. Bad, dude. I'm like, oh, she votes right? Fuck yeah. She's the one. No.
Rough.
Oh, just because she's red doesn't mean she's right. Remember
Amen.
that. I call her
Hallelujah.
a Fox News conservative. There's two kinds of extremist retards in life. Fox News conservatives and CNN liberals.
So true.
They say buzzwords. They say Republican or / liberal things, but don't know what they mean. And then they quote CNN or they quote Fox News as like, see, who the fuck is on Fox? Tucker ain't. Tucker bowed
No,
out.
not anymore.
That's wacky.
Yeah,
Why
they
did he
fired
leave?
him, I think, because he was trying to say things that they didn't want him to say.
Which is so crazy for Fox News.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome?
I think it's great for Tucker.
Oh, maybe.
I like Tucker Carlson, especially since he's left Fox News. Now he just says whatever he wants, and it's awesome.
I saw this video. I was like kind of in it for a bit. Yeah, I mean, he's been doing a lot of outside stuff, being on everything else ever. He did I saw him on a YouTube short. He was talking about how the photo of Trump, like with his fist up in the air after getting shot.
Yeah.
He was like, this is a president. Or like said something like super in almost worship of Trump, which I don't like worshiping men personally. Trump's honestly better option than the other two. It'd be funny if, what's the guy's name? It's not JFK. It's
Robert.
RFK.
Yep.
It'd be interesting if he was in office because it'd be different.
It would be.
Independent party in there. Like, what the fuck is he going to...
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, it would be interesting.
Yeah.
At the same time, though,
Here's how I see the State of the Union.
like, what the fuck happened to that guy? Give him a... Take away his cigarettes, you know? He sounds fucked up. I don't know what happened to RFK, but...
I actually don't mind it, the voice.
You don't?
No, not at all. Like, if he was up there giving a cool speech, like, I don't think it bugs me at all. I've listened to many podcasts with him speaking for multiple hours. Doesn't bug me.
Really?
Yeah. Like, initially, you know, it's like, oh, okay. That was my thought process the first time I ever heard his voice. It was just a sudden, and then acceptance. Quick acceptance.
Yeah, that's you, Joe.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
That is how
That is you.
I do that all the time.
Yeah.
With all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. It's funny.
You know how I just went to TacoBell again, right?
You did last night. Yeah.
Because before, what was it, last week that you and I went?
Yeah.
If even. Was it Monday?
It was like Friday?
Last Friday? Either way, that was the first time I went to TacoBell in probably like 7 to 8 years. Something crazy like that. And then I went to it twice in a week. Kind of cool. And then, so the first time, you know how I had that employee kind of recommend whatever he wanted to me?
Yeah.
I showed up again. He was working there. Same guy. I'm like, what should I get this time?
Two, please.
Please. I ended up getting the Crunchwrap Supreme.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it was good, I guess. I figured I should go for that because it looked big. Looked like one of the bigger things on the menu, along with that
not that
Taco
big,
Bell.
yeah.
It's kind of like what Taco Bell tries to sell me on all their advertisements. So figured I would try it out.
I'm a big crunch guy. I remember I gotten so many chalupas with Landon in the past.
What's a chalupa?
You don't know what a chalupa is?
No.
It's like a thicker taco.
Oh.
Well, as in like the tortilla is thicker.
Yeah, that sounds
Or
gross.
It kind of rocks. It fucks a little bit. It's a little bit, crunchy. Tactile, I think, is the right
A little
word.
crunchy would be good. Like a thick crunch. Yeah.
Sometimes
that's nice.
they're
I was
crunchy.
thinking like
Other
a
times they're
softer tortilla.
Sometimes they're crunchy, sometimes they're not. It kind of depends. The intent is they're supposed to be crunchy, but it's Taco Bell. Fast food.
For
it's
sure.
not always going to be.
Yeah.
Crunch wraps are always crunchy, though. You know, if you get the crunch wrap in something else, start with the crunch wrap so it doesn't get sogged out right before you eat it. You know?
Sure.
Because every crunchy
I don't know. I guess I don't. I've been to Taco Bell twice. Okay.
You need to get the app, by the way.
No.
Yeah.
Taco Bell's not going to become a normal thing for me.
It doesn't have to be a normal thing for you to spend $6 on a kick-ass meal. Like, you download the app. You're avoiding, the best thing ever.
Why?
Download the app. Set your name to fucking
It's not
Joe.
the best thing ever. No. Why would I do that?
Let me cook. You set your cravings box to be a fucking crunch wrap, crunchy taco, nachos, and a Baja Blast. Or any of those 4 things can be interchangeable. Those can be the weird tots, cinnamon twists, or whatever they're called.
You know the whole menu. You're an enthusiast.
Yes, exactly. $6 for all of that. 6.
Whole 6 Saroonies?
$6 for that.
Yeah, but I'm not going to go to Taco Bell again for the next year, probably.
False. Cody will coerce you. I will coerce you. I will make you go with me another time this year. And it's going to be funny because you're going to go, oh, I spent like $80 here. It's like you do that at
$80? Everything's $6, dude.
No.
$6. Yeah.
You spent $8 on those bean burritos. Or
That's true, I did.
Those burritos. Yeah, and that was 2 burritos. $8. $6, you could have gotten a burrito and then another taco. And then 2 other things. It's the biggest no-brainer. Like, the biggest no-brainer ever.
But if I don't go to Taco Bell, then what's the point?
Just have it.
Why?
What are you worried about? Storage space on your phone?
Well,
You don't want to spread yourself
app.
too thin? Dork? Whatever. To each his own. Do what you want to. Okay? Joe? I won't hold it against you. I will. I won't hold it against you.
My feelings are hurt.
That's funny. I
That
thought
was a
about pulling
close
away.
one.
I thought about pulling away
I thought for sure you would.
because it was a down low, too slow sort of
Yeah.
deal. I've fucked Joe up so many times on high fives.
I don't trust you.
Yeah, I do up top,
No, I'm not doing it.
down low, too
No.
slow. He just doesn't trust me after I pull out. It's funny. Anyway.
When does school start?
Fucking August something. 13th. That's
Ooh.
that's when band camp starts. Marching band.
What is that? Band camp? You actually go to... Do you go... You don't go camping with band kids.
No, but you're on campus earlier and you're doing band every day.
Do you want to do that?
Yeah?
Oh, weird.
Is this what you really want?
No, that sounds weird, dude.
Why?
I don't know.
I like
just feel-
music.
I guess college is way different. I have the high school perspective of if high school had me like show up early before school started for an extra...
I live in Moscow.
Yeah, well, fair.
It does not matter to me. It's cool.
Okay, baller. What does that consist of?
Doing drill, practicing all the tunes, all the regulars, learning them from memory. So, yeah, it's kind of it. Teaching new kids shit.
How good's your memory?
What? Oh, that's hearing. I don't know. Fuck. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's bad. It's bad in the worst ways. Good. No, it's... Yeah.
What?
My memory is bad for good things, but good for bad things. I remember really bad shit or like dumb stuff.
That's how normally it is.
But
yeah.
I forget all the good stuff, which
Everything
just makes
that
sense.
I need to remember, I don't remember.
That's absolutely biblical as fuck to
Is it?
forget all the good stuff. Yes, because
We definitely focus on the bad.
that's one thing, right?
Yeah.
Countless times in the Bible it mentions, especially in the Old Testament, really only in the Old Testament, where God will do something for his people and he'll tell them to make an altar after that, because that's supposed to be a physical remembrance of an event. That's
Oh,
why all
wow.
those feasts are a thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like activities to remind people to make them remember what God has done for them. Because nowadays, like, I told you about the trooper story, right? The wheels almost falling off. The wheels on the bus go round and round.
Yep.
Kamala Harris.
Shout out to Kamala.
Shout out Kamala. Fuck you. I'm sorry. In case she's president by the time this comes out.
In case the digital ID rolls in here.
Yeah, dude.
Her digital footprint.
I actually love you.
She's going to deport us somewhere.
Dude, I listened to one of her speeches where she actually said nothing the whole time. She's like, time is in the context
That's an old one. That's an old
of
one.
the place where you are.
I feel like that was within the first year of her president or vice presidency.
Really presidency, dude. What do you think she would? You think?
I don't think she was calling the shots. I think it was all Obama.
You think so?
Yeah, Obama and all the other interest groups.
You know what I
all
was
the
thinking
different
about?
Organizations. What?
You know what I was thinking about?
What were you thinking of that?
Joe. You know the thing about the earlobes being like detached and then whatever?
Yeah.
I think those were like special in the event that was like a real deal. I'm not crazy. That they were like different earpieces that didn't look like earpieces. They were like ear covers, not a separate Biden, right? Like people would have thought it's a different dude.
Yeah.
But like an attachment that goes over his ear that looks like, the CIA knows how to like put prosthetics on, right?
That's true. So then somebody could be speaking into his ear, you're saying?
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
Through a fake ear.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
If they see this ever and they're just like, how did he know? That's going to be a problem.
Well, yeah, his earlobes continue to detach and reattach. So, also the newest theory is that he's not even alive anymore. Have you heard about that one?
Yeah, I think I talked to Justin about that, and he was like, "Yeah, no, he did a press conference. Is like he exists still. He's still around. He's just fucked up, old and shit."
He did a press conference. Did he?
Or not a press conference, but he
seen?
like I don't.
He did what? How does Justin know about it?
I don't know. I think he said he like showed up for an interview or something.
Oh,
I don't remember.
I mean,
there was
the camera was pointing at him.
There was a video of Joe. He was talking about some Supreme Court justice. It was the black one.
Yeah.
I don't know his name. I'm sorry.
Oh, Thomas. Something Thomas.
Maybe. Anyway.
Or Thomas something. I don't know.
Right, but Joe literally refers to him as the black one in
No.
the interview because he forgot his name.
Well, he also put in a new Supreme Court justice, right?
He did?
It's a black chick. So there's two black ones.
Wait.
Unless he's talking about the
was
black
that
one that he put in there.
Ketanji?
I don't
that
know.
the-
The chick who was asked, what is a woman? And she's like, I'm not a biologist. It's like,
That's a crazy response.
isn't
to
that
it.
crazy, dude?
Yeah, it's like, what's a woman? Which
She
also
literally
is a
is
weird
one.
question for a Supreme Court justice, I guess. Right?
No.
Is that not? No? It's not a weird question?
It's a weird question for anybody to not be able to answer it.
This is true. Well,
Every
it's like asking a fucking goat farmer, how old a cow is supposed to be when they rip him out or whatever. I don't know.
is that really? If you're asking a woman, what is a woman?
If you're asking, in the context of her being a new justice member,
The
it feels
idea
like-
was to try and figure out if she's competent or not.
Yeah, that's.
I think it exposes a false mentality of whatever she believes in. If that
Yeah,
makes sense.
I guess
her
that makes
inability
sense.
to be
are you
to
capable
have her own thoughts.
Yeah, because if she's not going to give a straight up answer, I feel like giving any answer would be better than saying she doesn't know. I guess.
Yes.
Because if you had said, "I think a woman is anyone who identifies as a woman," or if you said that a woman is,
At least that's something.
yeah, it's something, right? There's the two ways. It's if you feel like you're a woman or if you biologically are. That's kind of the two routes. But she literally split the difference and said, "Fuck if I know."
Yeah, but I would argue that she absolutely qualifies
As a
to-
woman,
to answer
Yeah.
that question.
what is a woman?
I mean,
Looking at one,
I think you
know?
could even ask a man what is a woman or a woman what is a man. They should be able to answer it.
Yeah, most of the time, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess she didn't. I really don't know what she has said at this point because it's been fucking
I think
2
that's
years.
She was put into the position, like the lifelong position. They're not elected or anything. Just the president. When one dies, they go, "You're the new one," and then they're there for life. So I don't think I've heard anything about her.
I
since
like the
then.
Supreme Court. I've always liked the Supreme Court. The idea of it as like the ultimate decider of shit.
Do you want her to be the ultimate decider?
I don't really.
She doesn't even know what a woman is.
Exactly.
Which means that she doesn't even know who she is.
She hasn't ultimately decided on.
She doesn't know what she is.
Yeah. Anyway, I remember. I think that was 2022 when she
probably
joined, because I remember being in high school listening to that whole like debate with her, and I was like in the hallway walking around. Yeah, that was 22. That's interesting. That was fucking 2 years ago. Weird.
The election's coming up, and everything keeps getting crazier and crazier. It goes from Trump almost getting killed to Biden saying how he's not going to drop out to dropping out with a piece of paper that is signed with a different signature than his regular signature.
Okay.
After a weekend that he got COVID, and until you just said that Justin supposedly knows that he's arrived again, everybody was saying how Joe Biden has not been seen for the past 2 weeks.
Weird. Yeah, I don't actually research shit, so I have no grounds. Sometimes I research stuff.
I have no idea if he's been
We talked
seen
about
or
how
not.
I research.
Do you research?
Well, we were at Denny's the other night.
Nice.
And when I'm looking up something that definitely has a political bias,
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I try to ask the question to like Google in the most unbiased way, like what does X mean, or like I wouldn't want to say does this mean this, because then it's gonna give me an article from Fox News that's like, yeah, I try to like dig deeper into like non-biased questions. I took a statistics class in high school. My statistics teacher, I don't know if I told you, she was crazy. She was wacky. Not going to name drop that woman because she doesn't need that. But fuck, dude. She openly talked about, she didn't know how this class went. Like, she wasn't a statistics, like, qualified to teach statistics.
Oh, dang.
It's a private school, though, so you don't have to be qualified to do anything.
Let's go.
Yeah. So she was learning how to do statistics at the same time as us. It was just an Excel class.
Nice.
Kind of funny. Actually hilarious. And she talked about how, she brought up how she's never enjoyed sex with her husband.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I don't know.
Just like in the middle of class?
Yeah, like it's after she finished her lecture, she's behind her desk and all the other girls in the class are talking to her and she's like, "Yeah, I've just never enjoyed sex with my husband." And I'm
What?
like, why are we talking about this right now? Like I'm just doing work on my fucking Microsoft Surface.
Insane.
I turn around to that and I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about back there, lady?" She also, when she was interviewed to be a teacher at the high school, she was asked what like marriage is, and like asked about pretty like determining whether you're a liberal Christian or a conservative Christian
Gotcha.
sort of questions, like
Yeah.
what is X,
What is the role of the woman? What is the role of the man?
I think it's more, I don't think those kinds of questions,
You don't think so?
but more of like, well, yeah, because that's indeterminate no matter what.
I don't
role
think-
of a woman and a role of a man.
I don't think so. I think
There's specific. It's not like the
li-
woman needs to be a housewife.
I think liberal leaning women and or men would think that it's a much more equal role, if you will, which
Yeah,
I
it
think
is.
ultimately it is.
Yeah, biblically, absolutely.
Yeah,
it's
but they
unequal.
wouldn't think of it as like different roles, if you will.
Yeah,
Yeah. Or
there's different couple or man to woman sort of differences, but not like the woman's doing the dishes and the man does Y. It's like pertaining to who's leading the other toward Christ, but it's kind of a building on each other sort of deal. My mom and dad, though divorced, my dad always like supported my mom. She was like a business entrepreneur lady. She was built to do that kind of thing, entrepreneurship, right? And my dad was like, I'm going to support that, and he's a huge believer, so there's not a, like, it's not decided like, actually, that reminds me. There was a marriage talk at my church one time. My dad wanted me to go to it with him. Just because, like, he knows that I witnessed a failed marriage.
Yeah.
Right? And he wanted me to see what some couples look like, And 2 couples were on stage. One was, like, ideal couple, married, kids, partnership, kind of the whole shebang, That's the short and long of it. They both build each other toward Christ. The second one scared me. It made me kind of angry. Because it was this woman who's like a driven lady. She built to be doing stuff, like whether she wanted to start a business or do anything, right? And she literally said, I had to learn to not do that. I had to learn to be okay with not doing that. And I'm like, what? Like, you felt like you needed to be submissive, not submitting, but submissive to your husband. That's like 2 different things. Submit to each other, right? Not be submissive. That's 2 different things, Because if you're being submissive, that means there's a dominator, a dominant, right?
That doesn't need to be a bad thing.
Not always. It depends on the kind of woman, right? If it's a woman who likes being at home and doing homemaking stuff, right? It kind of makes sense. That kind of dynamic works. But this lady isn't built for that. She wanted to be doing her own sort of thing at the same time, which is what my mom did with my dad, right? And she just literally said, I have to stop myself from wanting to do that. And that doesn't make sense to me. That bugs me,
Yeah. I think I agree more with the people up on stage.
Really?
Yeah.
That the wife needed to...
It depends. I don't think the wife needs to get rid of all her dreams or anything.
That's what she did.
Yeah, but I don't think I think you only do that when the sacrifice is needed. Does that make sense? It's kind of like the idea with the man trying to lead the family, right? Spiritually and just worldly, if you will. The idea is to take the burden off of the wife, right? Or at least take the burden off in the sense that she can then do those things that she wants without issue, I guess. I don't know. Let's say financially speaking, if you are going to have kids, maybe the man, wants a stay-at-home mom, right? I don't know. I'd have to think about that.
Well, that's something you seek out first.
I feel like I'm definitely not.
When you're finding a woman in life, right? When you're looking for someone you want to be with for the rest of your life, you look for that quality first. You don't make that woman you find into that quality.
I guess, what do you think ultimately makes women happy?
It depends.
You think so?
Yeah, it's from woman to woman.
I've always thought of it more so that women and men are much different that way. What ultimately brings a fulfilling, meaningful life to both of us. A man is much more about providing, if you will, for the lack of a better term.
Yeah.
And women is much more about, I guess, I don't know. Not that. There's two, it's the 2 different roles, if you will, where ultimately you will find happiness as a man in this, fulfilling that role, and the woman in that role. And the idea that a woman would be entrepreneurial entrepreneurial or whatever. Man, dude, I am stumbling
entrepreneur?
right now. It's a much more manly trait. It's embracing their masculinity, which instead they should be embracing their femininity, right? Does that make sense?
I disagree. I think I know what you're trying to say, but
Yeah, I'm butchering it completely. I've never had to
let me give you my
vocalize
perspective,
this.
right? The woman I want to marry and spend the rest of my life with is someone who wants to do stuff, like be like, because my mom was like that. Freud was right. You marry your mom, okay? Like, you want to find a funny woman, your mom's hilarious, right? Boom, she's awesome. My mom is driven. She is like a powerful woman who she kicks ass in like
I think it's more okay.
Stuff, right?
Okay. So when, let's say a man and a woman are married, right? The woman is just like your mom, but the man is saying, but you can't do that right now because of this, that, and this. Right? Okay, so then should the man back off or should the woman go, okay?
It depends. It has to
I don't
depend.
think so.
Like in the instance that this is the scenario that I'm imagining right now. Oh, I think my hands are, do you think I'm like getting the dye? I am.
What?
My hand is in bluing because of my pants. Anyway, it's the dye. Anyway, the scenario where a man meets a woman and they're with each other and then they get married, and she wants to be doing entrepreneurship and business building and all that sort of thing, and the husband, and then they decide together to have a child. I don't know what the husband is like in this case, right? Because if the family needs someone to stay and look after the kids and the husband isn't the one who isn't the provider, right, in this dynamic, you know? Because I don't feel like everyone is built the same.
I think the man then needs to step up and be the provider.
And have the wife stay home and stay with the kids?
I think a lot of women that I know, especially in my family, there's a lot of examples of, I'll use my cousin, Lucas, name drop, shout out to Lucas as an example. Him and his wife went through this where I consider her a sister-in-law because I'm so close to them, right? She is she's got the pants kind of thing, kind of woman, right? She takes charge, she takes lead kind of thing, but that comes from her childhood and the way that her father was. And then Lucas, very people pleaser, right? And they went through actually a very rough patch in their relationship, where then they both learned to switch it, if that makes sense. Where Lucas decided, I need to take the reins on my life and my family and lead them, right?
Yeah.
To take that burden off of my wife. And then Piper decided to choose to embrace her femininity and has become more happy because of it. There's a woman named Brett Cooper who's very entrepreneurial. She still has her own thing, the YouTube channel. She's like a political commentator. I like listening to her. She talks about how women are not happy when they are pursuing a career and trying to fit into a masculine role, in a masculine world. You know, it's not, I think, I don't know how to answer it or articulate why I believe this. But I have seen it in multiple people, not only within my family, but with other people that I look up to, I guess, online. Yeah, it's yeah.
That's cool.
Like, why did your parents divorce? Because
I can't tell you why.
Do you think there was a?
I couldn't tell you.
Like, just because of the podcast, or like you don't know?
No, I really don't know.
Do you think it could have been because there was a conflict within the wearing of pants?
My mom, no.
No?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
My dad is a big man, especially when they were together. He was a strong, big dude, right? Not fat. He was fucking, he was a dominant figure, definitely patriarchal. But but I think that might have conflicted with my mom's pursuits
Yeah.
and made her. She says she wasn't happy. Whether or not that's my dad's fault or her pursuits,
In my perspective,
it would be what she was pursuing.
then that would be her pursuing something that is either not needed and or just being incontent with where she's at.
Yeah. Also, part of it was the fact
her
that
doing that, then how has it affected the rest of her family? Not the divorce, but
her
I guess
job.
if that had a factor in the divorce, how was pursuing that? How has that affected the family, right?
Her pursuing her career and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I think part of the issue was, it was very hard for me to develop relationships with my family. Because I'm very, as close as I am to my mom and dad, I still feel very distant. Just because, I'm not going to them for everything. And that's also because I'm retarded as shit, and I've never wanted to put time into my family, which is scary to think about, because I just don't, my cousins, everyone always talks about their favorite cousin or their aunt and uncle, and they have, this whole dynamic and stuff. I'm I've never had a favorite cousin. I have cousins, but I don't talk to them. I don't interact with them. My brother does. Devin tells me, he's yeah, you can have a relationship with these people. And I know I can.
Yeah.
I don't want to, because I don't care. I wasn't instilled with this idea that I should care, because my family was very built different. I think there was some failures, and it might be because of what my mom wanted to pursue, being that she was focusing on entrepreneurship and not developing the family and trying to build relationships and stuff. I didn't start interacting or talking to my grandparents or my aunt and uncle until maybe halfway through high school.
Wow.
Because I just didn't want to talk. I was anorexic at one point. That made me very distant, because at one point I was it was Thanksgiving. I'd eaten a portion, and I go upstairs and I'm gone for half an hour, because I'm body checking in the bathroom, being afraid that I fucking fattened my ass up, not socializing with the family, and everyone's making fun of me and what were you doing up there, idiot? I'm I dislike you, or whatever, some pussy shit. Now I'm I'll interact with these people. It's funny. I've definitely grown up, but I grew up very late, and now I'm in a different state. Rhyme, so it's true. Anyway, kind of sucks, because Devin has always been super social.
Yeah.
My mom tries to think that I used to be super extroverted. She says that I used to invite a bunch of people to my birthday parties and stuff, but I don't remember ever being extroverted. I might have invited people, but that was probably just because I wanted friends.
Yeah.
But never had any, or never tried to pursue friends. Man, this is a fucked up pivot.
Well, yeah, it's interesting because you tend to, since I've known you, you have such an importance on your friends. Friends are extremely important to you.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I really don't like trying to make new ones. Especially now, because I lost 2, the best ones I'd ever had, and I have new ones, and I like a few of them, Some I have problems with, so I don't talk to them as much, but I'll still hang out with them.
Yeah.
But I don't want to have a backlog of people just in case these ones run out. I don't want to have so many friends that I have different options. I like making people feel important by being few in my life. I have few friends, which means they're very important to me, right? I don't want to spread myself into a bunch of different places.
Why would you be spreading yourself thin necessarily? I have my friends, then I have a ton of people that I consider friends, But it's not like
like acquaintances.
I'm not like staying up with their life. It's just like when I see them, we're having a good time.
Yeah.
It's way more of like out of convenience, but I'm also that to them. It's not like a.
I have some of those.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm not really, I don't know how to friend. Really. Elijah used to say that. He told me he'd be like, I'm new to this whole friend thing last year over the summer. He texted me that. I'm like, fucking no. We've been doing this for 10 years. What do you mean new to this friend thing? And it makes sense. He doesn't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it.
I don't think anybody knows how to do it. It just kind of happens.
Well, for some people.
How did we become friends?
Oh, fucking, you had a YouTube channel. I'm like,
Well, Cody showed up. You were there.
yeah.
Oh, wow, you're funny. And then all of a sudden we were hanging out. Bam.
And now we're doing this.
It was that easy, dude.
Yeah, that easy.
It's like you don't go
I've
out.
literally known you for months.
It's like you don't go out and make. It may have been almost a year now.
Almost a year.
But yeah, you don't go out and make friends. It's just kind of you go out and then friends happen.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then worrying about it is.
I'm not worried about it. I don't really care.
Well, yeah, okay. I guess thinking that you don't know how to. It's not a science. There's no science of how to make friends.
It's
as simple as just going out, meeting people.
I suppose.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's always been rocket science to me because I've never cared enough.
It's like the
as soon as I have someone, I'm like, you're my friend. We're friending right now. Like, and that's what it was for 10 years, right? I used to just fucking walk around a field during recess. I'd walk around the soccer field humming to myself, literally like the weirdest kid.
You are autistic.
So that, yeah, it was funny. I'd just walk around the field, and anytime I saw people, I'd be like, stop humming, dude. They'll hear you. It was weird. I'm a weird human.
Like for Chi Alpha, right, the summer here, most of the people fled off to their homes. It's college town. Everybody leaves over the summer. And so Chi Alpha was left to the bare bones of just some of us, maybe 8 of us, if you will. And then so every single Wednesday we would keep up just the 8 of us, but most of the people in that group, it's like I don't really know. Out of all the people in Chi Alpha, all the ones that I got close to left, except for like Cody and Mateo. It's probably, yeah. But the rest of the people there, then over half of them, I don't really have a relationship whatsoever with. But then I just kept showing up, even if I wasn't really contributing to the conversations at all. In fact, I was pretty quiet up until recent, where it was last Sunday, where I was I was in the room with them, and they were like, they had going to Nunya.
Yeah.
And they're like, do you want to come? Yeah. And it's like I've just shared. I don't think I've contributed in a way that necessarily would make me like their friend, if that makes sense. I'm not like I was never invited to hang out with them alone or anything. Or at least the people that I didn't already have a relationship with. They I don't feel like I didn't like add to the group in any way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden I'm going to Nanya with them. And then since then, it's just about being there, sharing in that time. People get comfortable. It's not like I wasn't interacting with them whatsoever. It's just a slow building of like, oh yeah, I know you. Oh, you were there for that too. Oh heck yeah. And then slowly but surely memories are built. Slowly but surely, oh, it's not just that guy. All of a sudden he's that he's that for you.
He's Joe.
He's Joe. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Nunya happened, and I was like swimming with them, I don't know. Yeah, just slowly but surely you just begin to know them, and they know you, and you just become friends. And now all of a sudden, like yesterday we were all at Taco Bell. I had a blast. We were all having fun.
Yeah.
I was engaging more in conversation than I ever have been. It's just like a slow trickle of forming those bonds. It's not like when you first show up, you'll never feel like you belong.
Here's my issue, right? Because I did almost that exact thing freshman year.
Yeah.
And I'm friends with those people still. They're my group, right? We plan on fucking graduating and doing shit, right?
Rad.
My problem is I definitely have the not personality but issues of an addict, where or traits of an addict, because I get addicted to people and I continue to interact with them, and until they, like, as soon as they stop trying to interact with me, I move on to the next person, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I would, like, long time ago, I'd be playing Minecraft, right? And I'd be playing with this one friend every day for a few days. Then they'd suddenly not pick up the phone or something. And I'd be like, fuck, I guess we're done now. And I'd call someone else and we'd hang out for a few days. And then they'd not pick up the phone. And then I'd move on to the next person. It would just keep going like that. And I know that's what can happen again. And I'm terrified of that. Because I have basically two friend groups. The Chi Alpha people that, you know, are really the four straight men. Joe, Cody, Will, right? And me. And then I have this other group that I hang out with on occasion, right? The ass acquaintances. We met in band camp freshman year, right? All of us. It's since lost some numbers, but that's only because of relationships within the group. But we've overcome or kicked out people. Doesn't matter. And so I'm just scared I'm going to fucking, as soon as I interact with one group for a long time, I'm going to keep doing it, and then I'm going to stop hanging out with another group. And I know I've done that already. I know I have. I hung out with you and Cody a bunch in April, right? We got a fucking car stuck in a field.
Super true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like, after that, and after I'd done a bunch of stuff, I kind of just, as soon as I stopped getting feedback from you or Cody, I'm like, I pivoted back to my friend group, and I was, like, doing that. You know, it's really bad. I don't know.
It's an interesting perspective on friend groups as a whole, where I just think of it, I don't know, there's many times, even family, you know, it's like I can go months without seeing people, and as soon as I see them again, it's like nothing ever happened. You know, it's like there was no time gap, if that makes sense. It's like my absence or their absence does not have any effect on my relationship with them, if that makes sense.
That sounds the way it should be.
Yeah. So it's kind of
It's just never been that way for me. Because it's not like I'm showing up back in their life, they're showing up back in mine sort of deal. Because they disappear while I'm trying to do...
Well,
you know?
Yeah.
It feels different.
But it shouldn't have to be a rebuilding of a relationship.
I guess not. But it was also, I don't know, that was a really long time ago when I would literally be one-on-one with people playing Minecraft. You know?
Yeah.
Now, I never had a friend group until freshman year. I never had a friend group before. I kind of did. Harry, Zachary, Landon. That was kind of it. It was essentially my four straight men beta edition.
Yeah.
And that was fun. And we hung out a few times, and like I feel like I could totally see those guys again. It would be just awesome. But I have not had literally like 10 people in a friend group at a time before. You know, that was never a thing for me. And having multiple groups, even scarier. Like I'm kind of terrified for this year to start, because I don't want to be. I always get the impression that my friends are going to make new friends and I'm going to disappear from their life. That's just what happens, or at least what I imagine will happen every time. That I don't know if that's happened before, because I've never been in a position where my friends would find a new friend group. I remember going into my second year, I had the same sort of fear. Going to band camp, I'm like, all my friends are going to make new friends. I'm terrified. You know, like I don't want to have to make new friends again. I liked those ones. I don't want them to disappear. Thank God, though, I lived with some of those friends, so they were always there, right? And I didn't lose them. And, you know, then I lost two of my best friends. And now going into my third year, I'm scared again that I'm going to lose friends just because that's the way it's kind of always felt for me. Whether or not it has ever happened, I don't remember, but it's always been my fear. Literally always been my fear that I'm just going to lose my friends. That's heightened up even more now because I'm like afraid one of my friends is going to have a bad day and he's going to fucking kill himself. And it scares me that it could happen. And that freaks me out because it's a possibility now, which sucks. I never thought it could be a possibility until fucking December. So if I wasn't afraid of losing friends before, now I'm even more afraid. So, especially after what happened this past fucking month with my friend group getting kind of fracked by the whole interrelations deal, you know? That was like, it was stressful for me. But because I live with one of them, I feel like it was kind of impossible for him to exit my life, you know, unless he wanted to move out, you know. So anyway, it's we were talking about men and women in parenting positions.
Yeah, we were talking about relationships.
Yeah, we were.
That's what we're talking about.
I guess.
Still are. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's bad to be afraid. Literally, it says 365 plus times in the Bible, do not fear, or whatever derivative of that.
365.
Literally one for every day.
Yeah, wow. I was about to say.
I think
That's cool.
There's either more. It's probably more than 365, but I know at least 365.
Do not be afraid.
Yeah. I think Jesus specifically says, do not fear, do not be afraid. 365 times. Maybe. I don't know. I don't remember. But I know it says it 365 times in the Bible. At the very least. Whether or not he said it, I don't remember. But
well, one thing I've noticed with you and your relationships is that you are, I think we've talked about it, where you are always talking with those people. When you're not talking with one, you call the next, or you're texting with another.
Actually.
Or you're literally, like you don't have that alone time.
not all the time. No.
Where it's like most of the people, most people, I think I can say that, including myself, when I'm working, when I'm getting ready for bed, when I'm driving somewhere, when I'm doing this, that, and this and that, when I'm not hanging out with friends, I'm not texting them, I'm not calling them, I'm not doing anything other than what's in front of me.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't have that separation anxiety, if you will.
I think, well, it's different now. I don't think it's separation anxiety, what you're referring to for me. It's literally like when I told you while I was working on my chainsaw last night, I was already like productive, and then Anella offered to call. And I'm like, obviously I'm going to take that offer because it became a podcast. It wasn't that I was afraid of losing her, it was that when I'm not focusing, I like split my mind in two.
Yeah.
Because I'm able to put one brain fully into what I'm doing with my hands. My dad figured out, he told me, I was doing dishes at my old apartment and I was getting all this stuff done, and I hadn't started doing that until my dad called me and I picked up the phone and I'm talking to him, and I didn't even plan, and now because I'm talking to him, I'm doing something. It's a strange thing that I've developed where every time I'm on the phone, my dad mentioned it while we were talking. He was like, every time I see you on the phone, you're pacing around the house. You're doing something. You're doing something with your hands. You're making something, as soon as you're on the phone with someone. So anytime, and I literally at that point in time, I was doing that. He called me and I started doing laundry and dishes, and I made my bed, and I was doing all this stuff while fully interacting with my dad.
Wild.
Yeah. It's like my brain is split in two.
I'm the opposite. When I'm on a phone call, I have to focus on the conversation. So I tend to sit there And I might be like twiddling my thumbs or something, but I don't tend to keep doing stuff. I think we've had moments where we're calling each other, and when I'm in the middle of something, I'll say, sorry, I'll call you back. Or I'm like, what did you just say? Because I'm focusing on what I'm doing in front of me. I can't do the multitasking.
If I'm doing like, it's not a lot of, sometimes I can do thinking work. Sometimes I can't. When Elijah was around, I could always do thinking work with him. I would be doing homework while on the phone with Elijah. And I was just able to fucking do it. I could just get it done and be like, sometimes he'd be like, give me 1 second. That's it. Like, I was always, and I'm still like this. Like, Anella was just talking to me about fucking fish for 2 hours or something. And I'm working on a chainsaw. Like, I was able to, she was like, you're not even listening. I'm like, I'm fully listening. I know exactly what you're saying, you know? But I'm also, at the same time, cleaning my fucking thing, and I'm working on it.
See, like that can absolutely be a gift even. Like, that's awesome. That's the ability to do that.
I love that. But the issue is, I'm only productive like that when I'm talking to someone. Sometimes I'm not.
Maybe, why don't you just listen to podcasts?
So, sometimes that works. It does actually work sometimes. I listen to Amen podcast. When I remember that podcast exists, it gets. I do sometimes get stuff done when I listen to podcasts, but it's like, because I was driving. I remember I sent you an audio message while I was on the road one time.
Yeah,
it was talking about like arthritis or some shit. Something about our hands. I forgot what it was, but it was after I had listened to Amen podcast, and I'm driving, and I'm like suddenly thinking I'm talking, and the drive got faster because I'm doing that.
Well, for sure. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. And
that's a...
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like podcasts. I never thought about that. Outside thought? I never thought about that.
I love listening to podcasts and music when I'm doing stuff, but when I have to sit down...
Music makes me like... I literally, when I'm listening to music, I shut down.
The opposite.
Yes. Music does not help me.
Oh.
When I'm doing tests, if I'm taking a test, like in class, I have worship music playing. Because I'm like, if I need anything to get me through this, like, God, just stay with me while I'm, trying to get something done. I haven't been caught with my AirPods in yet. Listening to worship tunes. So I've had my AirPods die.
Are you not allowed to?
I don't know. I was told that it might look like I'm cheating.
Yeah.
But how the fuck? I'm not talking. I take off my glasses if I had like, camera glasses. Like, so what's the answer to this one? No. It's like, I took my glasses off. I got AirPods in. I'm listening to fucking Resurrecting, live. Always listen to the live version, dude.
They are good. With the crowd
CCM,
cheering.
Hot topic. CCM, contemporary Christian music.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of good.
It is. Sure, why not?
It kind of sucks, but it's also kind of good. It depends. Live is always better. Live is always better. Live is always better. For, what was it? Firm Foundation.
Oh, yeah.
The live version of that tune, literally, like, the song was over, and then all the band members, like, kept going, and the lead was like, fuck, okay, looks like we're not finished yet. And they just kept playing, and I'm like, oh, that gets me. But, like, when I'm listening to music, I shut down. When I'm tapping to a song that's playing in my head, sometimes I'm half present. But most of the time, I'm out. Music destroys me.
Interesting.
Because it's captivated my mind and my heart. Music as a whole, it's like I am music almost. Guys,
that's a hard line.
It is a hard line. I am music, dude. Fuck yeah. It's like when Jesus said, I am the law of Moses in The Chosen. That rocked. I and the Father are one. He had some bangers,
Making the Trinity deniers.
Yeah. I and the Father are one. You can't deny the Trinity once. You know who you are if you're watching this?
Come on and tell me why you think that the Trinity can't be a thing.
He told me. He used to be a Mormon, and he said if he ever believed in God again, it would be a Mormon, because Christianity can't be the case because why would Jesus pray to himself? I'm like, oh, you're so right. 2,000 years worth of Christians never thought of that one. We never thought about that. Therefore, Jesus isn't God. Therefore, Trinity isn't real. Therefore, Christianity isn't right. Because fucker thought, why would Jesus pray to himself? Debunked. Whole religion, whole faith destroyed by him saying that. I'm like, you're stupid. What? You haven't dug deeper than that? You just decided that Christianity isn't true because your human mind can't comprehend the omnipotence of God? That man pisses me off.
Do you think Jesus is all-knowing? I was talking to Luke Hoover about it yesterday, and it was really fun. I think he was...
Oh,
what?
I got lightheaded from being so mad. I'm also waterless right now.
Should we grab water?
In a minute.
What do you think about Jesus then? All-knowing or no?
Absolutely all-knowing.
You think so?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I've always wanted to say that, but then my mind always goes to, well, it literally says not even Jesus knows when the end times are, when he's going to come back through the clouds, when he comes back, the second coming. He doesn't even know the time or the hour. So he's like objectively then not all-knowing.
I don't think that's biblical.
I think it is.
What you just said. Keep talking.
Look it up.
Figure it out.
But then again, okay, I guess then my argument is there's a lot of examples where he seems like he needs to be all-knowing to know what he just said. But the Holy Spirit, the whole nature of it, right, is that it kind of helps us know what to say in the moment, right? Especially when you're in tune with it. I'm assuming Jesus is more in tune with the Holy Spirit than any of us could ever possibly even be, because being pure in the way that he would be extremely close to God, to the point where it would be indiscernible to us whether or not that was because of his head knowledge or because of his faith in what he was saying.
Oh,
as the Holy Spirit provided it to him. You know what I'm saying? There would be no way for us to know the difference.
Yeah, I wasn't listening. I figured it out. Sorry.
Okay, what does it say?
Yeah, it's called the Lindley listen, not the Dillon listen. According to this AI-generated answer, does Jesus know the day or the hour? During his earthly ministry, Jesus did not know the day or the hour of his return. As a human, he was limited by his humanity, and this limitation is reflected in his statement in Matthew 24:36 and Mark 13:32. But about that day and hour, no one knows, neither the angels of heaven nor the Son, but only the Father.
Yeah.
This lack of knowledge was a demonstration of his true humanity, as emphasized by the Gospel Coalition. As a human, Christ did not know the day and the hour. However, after his resurrection and glorification, Jesus' humanity was transformed, and he was restored to his divine nature. As God, Jesus now possesses omniscience, including knowledge of the day and the hour of his return.
Yeah, which is what Luke was saying, I think, too, where, now that he's up in heaven, I'm sure he's chilling.
Yeah, obviously.
He's mad chilling.
My
God,
thought,
but
that then makes me think about the limitation of the flesh. Because if the flesh is so limiting,
it is
that it can make God not know the day or the hour.
Oh, whoa. And that's what we are buried underneath.
Yeah. I hate that. The idea of that.
Our flesh is not fun, dude. Our flesh is not cool.
I mean,
I'm obviously grateful to be here within my flesh,
we're fearfully and wonderfully made.
But then again, it's not because God made it terrible. It's because of the fall. I'm sure Adam and Eve, they weren't exactly inhibited by their flesh. Their flesh was perfect. You know what I'm saying?
I guess this makes some things in The Chosen a little bit more... It makes a bit more sense.
So I would argue then...
Because Jesus has full God power. But maybe he decided to not have all of it.
Well, that's because there's moments where he says stuff where it's like, how would he even know that? And my argument is just because of the Holy Spirit. But was there scripture saying that he doesn't know the time or the hour?
Yes, I said that. It says... What
was the...
But about that day and hour, no one knows.
But what is the scripture? What is the...
It says Matthew 24:36 and Mark 13:32. But let me just whip out both of those real quick.
Do it.
24 2436, 1332. Okay. Remember 1332.
1332. 1332.
Fuck, dude. Now I forgot. So, Matthew 24, 36. But concerning that day and hour, no one knows, not even the angels of heaven, nor the Son, but the Father only.
Mm.
Some manuscripts omit nor the Son.
What does that mean?
It means that some manuscripts don't say that.
Oh, really?
To where it would be, but concerning that day and hour, no one knows, not even the angels of heaven, but the Father only, is what it would have said in some original manuscripts.
Interesting.
Some manuscripts omit that.
What is the other?
Mark
1332?
1332. But concerning that day or hour, no one knows, not even the angels of heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father. This one, it doesn't have.
That one's pretty blunt with it.
It says the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
That is cool.
That says the same thing. Anyway, I think that's the thing about God and the thing about Jesus that to where, like, it's almost something like question it and think about it, but at the end of the day go, God does things that we don't understand, and we won't know why for a long time, you know?
At least for our time here, as we're limited by our flesh.
Because Jesus could have said, nor the Son, for the sole purpose of, don't ask me, Know what I'm saying? Don't ask me when I'm coming because it doesn't matter right now.
True.
Or it could be that as the 100% human, 100% God that he was and is, right? That he was limited by flesh, which sucks to think about, but I guess it has to make sense because Jesus, while he was 100% man, wasn't flying around,
Yeah.
He didn't command.
Didn't he would go up to the mountains and pray? Wasn't he like talking to Moses and Elijah, stuff like that? And wasn't that all for guidance, something like that?
I don't think he was asking them for support.
Well,
personally.
what was he talking to them
I don't know,
about?
chilling.
Just chilling, just having a fun time?
I don't know. They probably were talking about end time shit. I don't know. Could have been anything.
I guess so.
I don't think Jesus would have been asking for help, though.
Well, isn't that the whole point of prayer?
We ask God for help.
God, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. What does it say that he went up there for?
Why isn't John doing this fucking work?
Because I'm not paying him yet.
This is true. Nor are you paying me. Jesus and Elijah and Moses. I literally wrote that. Transfiguration of Jesus as recorded in the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, and Luke, but not in John. Interesting. Can you tell me when it is? According to Luke 9:31. Oh. Moses and Elijah spoke with Jesus about his departure or exodus that was to come at Jerusalem.
Oh,
Luke 9:31.
okay. So they were like informing him then, maybe?
I don't think they'd be informing Jesus. I don't think he needs to be informed on how things go. 31. Okay, the transfiguration. Now about 8 days after these sayings, he took with him Peter and John and James and went up on the mountain to pray. And as he was praying, the appearance of his face was altered, and his clothing became dazzling white. And behold, two men were talking with him, Moses and Elijah, who appeared in glory and spoke of his departure, Greek Exodus, which he was about to accomplish at Jerusalem, where he was going to be, crucified. Now Peter and those who were with him were heavy with sleep, but when they became fully awake, they saw his glory and the two men who stood with him. And as the men were parting from him, Peter said to Jesus, Master, it is... Yeah, whatever. So, kind of just talking to them, giving them the lowdown about his crucifixion, right?
Wild. Interesting.
His departure. Isn't that so cool?
It is.
Departure. He was just going to leave for a bit. Defeat sin and death. He's going on a trip down south. Where do you think Jesus went?
I was about to say, yeah. What do you think about the crucifixion when he says, why have you forsaken me? I think that I've heard a lot of different theories about that. One including that it's when all of the sin came upon Christ and God separated himself from himself. Crazy theory. Or, it's also believable, I would argue. Why have you forsaken me? I
feel like some people have
spotless
theorized
lamb.
that it was some people have claimed or theorized, and I believe it's absolutely heretical, that Jesus was a man possessed by God, to where it would be
I would not
right where when he says why have you forsaken me is when God exited Jesus, and that was the deed
I don't
underneath.
think that's the case.
That's fucked up. Jesus,
that's two different things. Yeah,
born man, born God, right? That's what it is. So, or God born man.
but still, can God? Jesus saying, "Why have you forsaken me?" It's kind of would there not be some separation of God and Christ in that moment, as he, if God is
The
not
Father
capable
turned
of
his
sin,
back
yet
on
the
the
sin falls onto Christ, there would have to be some separation of some kind.
I mean, the separation had to have been, Jesus or God, the Father, turned his back on Christ in that moment when he was crucified, right, in heaven. So what I imagine in my head when I think of when Jesus died, and how that defeats sin and death, right, is that the flesh of Christ, but after he was resurrected, he was still new body, right? You remember that?
Yeah,
Or it was still the same because he had the holes.
it was the same. People were able to recognize him, but it would have been new in the same way that we'll have new bodies, where it's no longer decaying. It won't die.
Yeah.
It's a new body in the sense of it won't fall into temptation like ours do now. It'll be renewed. It'll be as if it'll be how it was intended.
Yeah.
Like back in the garden. Adam and Eve before the fall, pretty much, before death.
It's just a lot of, as soon as you get around that area, by the way, okay, it gets into a lot of weird, how does this work? Why would Jesus be praying to the Father? All this sort of thing, And when you get into that territory, it's you kind of have to remember things were written the way that they were for a reason. We don't really know the reason, but they're in there for a reason, And so if someone asks you why something was put in there, don't do the Catholic move and say because of all these reasons. Sometimes you have to say, I don't know, and that's kind of the way it is. Right? Because I don't.
I'm going to try and do the Catholic thing. Let's see. Okay. Let's do the, let's ask.
Well, the
here.
Catholics invent shit.
The question is then why would God pray to God? Why would Jesus pray to God? Well, if the idea is that Jesus wasn't all-knowing during his time on the earth, again, if he has the Holy Spirit within him, it's not like we'd be able to tell the difference anyway, because his relationship with the Holy Spirit would be, because of his purity, it'd be something that we cannot even comprehend. For as far as I'm concerned, as he's speaking, he can literally hear the Holy Spirit just being like, "Yeah, this is what you're gonna say." It's I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder what.
We would not be able to tell the difference whether if Christ was all-knowing or if he wasn't, because he still has the Holy Spirit anyways, who is all-knowing, right? So it doesn't really change anything. But if Christ was not all-knowing, and not in a moment of needing to know something that he wouldn't be capable of knowing without the Holy Spirit, it makes sense then why he would pray. Or even if maybe his prayer is not for him, but rather because he knows that he's going to be an example for us.
Yeah.
So maybe him praying is just showing the importance of it for us.
I think what it also is because of his flesh, right? In heaven, when he wanted to talk to the Father, he just, was right there and could, or whatever it was, however they communicate.
Yeah.
But in the flesh, the way we communicate with God is through prayer.
Yeah, you're right.
And so the only way, Jesus obviously was getting actual feedback, right? Full on voices, probably.
Maybe, yeah, I don't know.
Maybe. I guess we don't
He's
know.
in tune with the Holy Spirit. That's
absolutely
how we
fully in tune, 100%.
Right. Yep. High five.
Yeah, nobody wants to touch these fucking hands, dude. God, they're fucking. I don't know what's going on. I think I'm developing.
You dirty dog.
I'm developing some fungi.
You, dude.
I'm a fun guy. Shut up, dude. Damn. Get off my back. But yeah, I think he had to be a representation of what we are supposed to be when we're like Christ. We pray to God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I guess if you're all-knowing, though, and connected, like you literally are God, why would you ever need to pray to God? I feel like there are reasons for it that don't necessarily have to be brain twisters and or a long lineage of popes to explain it. You know what I'm saying? With all these new different texts. Like it makes sense under the guides of the Son of God doesn't even know the time or the hour when he will return. Then I think it's safe to assume that he's not all-knowing and that in those moments he felt temptation just like the rest of us. The same way that we would want to pray for strength and guidance, the same way he would. I don't think that's like far-fetched. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's just, he just does it in a perfect manner.
Yeah, he is perfect.
Yes. I don't know. I don't think that like brings any disgrace to Christ. I don't think that brings any. I think that if anything, that makes it cooler. I would argue it makes it way cooler makes him way more relatable. Maybe.
Yeah, that's what he has to be.
Yeah.
In The Chosen, there are at least 2 or 3 events or points in time where Jesus says, "I am too." Like when someone says, "I'm only human," right? He goes,
yeah.
"I am too."
Yeah.
And that's just like he was full on.
Yeah.
Just like you and me.
Right.
But also perfect in every absolute way.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, isn't that awesome?
So
that
cool,
our God
dude.
is so personal that
Yeah.
he came down to be amongst us and fucking die. Oh, imagine having a friend who would die for you like that.
Dude, I could bring it up. I actually know the verses. Did I share with you Revelation? I think it's chapter 4, verses 4, something like that. Maybe not. I could find it. It's chapter 4. It's at the end of it. It's not verse 4.
Worthy are you, our Lord and God, to receive glory and honor and power, for you created all things, and by your will they existed and were created.
Yeah, that. Did I talk to you about that?
No.
Okay, so the context of that, it's John on the island tripping balls, right?
Sure, that's one way to... Sure.
He's tripping balls. He's up in heaven, revelating, if you will.
Being revealed, the revelation of Christ.
Yes,
yeah.
and he,
being high is so different.
He's describing 24 people, like 24 kings, if you will, 24 something with crowns, and they all take off their crown and throw it towards the throne of God. And these 24 kings or crown bearers, if you will, they chant what you just read, and they say how it's so cool because they say that God is worthy of worship, not because of his love, not because of his grace, but because he created. Simply because he created. That's it. Even if God was God that lacked mercy and love, is he not still worthy of creation because he has the power and authority to create?
Worthy of worship?
Well, okay, maybe not.
You said worthy of creation.
Did I?
Yeah, you meant worship.
Worthy of worship,
Yeah.
because he created, yeah. It's like, that doesn't mean he has my respect or love, but he would still be worthy of worship,
Well, think about
right? It's like, there's two different things. It's where it just makes me so much more grateful that God does have that mercy and does have that love for us and does have that humility along with grace for us. For no reason. We deserve death.
yeah.
You know, it just puts more into perspective of how little we actually deserve anything. Like, it's literally, even if he made me in a different reality where the entire purpose for my existence was to bring pleasure to him as he laughed at my torture, you know, it's like,
Okay.
dude, I'm telling you,
Here's
under that context, he is still worthy of worship. And then so it's just like the fact that he didn't do that because he has the power and authority to. It's so cool. I don't know. It just I think I take it for granted sometimes that God is who he is. And that really put it into perspective for me, I guess. When I first read that, I was like, wow.
Joe, glassesless Joe is uncanny. I feel
Is
like
it?
I'm looking at an alternate right now, dude.
My clone.
Let me give you my perspective on that statement alone, right?
Okay.
On that one section. Worthy are you, our Lord and God, to receive glory and honor and power, for you created all things, and by your will they existed and were created.
Yeah.
In my mind,
So cool.
think about what he created.
Everything.
Specifically, the most beautiful creation, right? Trees, fucking people, these immaculate, the immaculate design of everything. He also created the things that he gave to us in love, right? Like sex is a gift and something he
Amen.
created. Yeah, dude.
Touch your fungi.
Yeah,
Ew, dude.
shut up. It's not. Anyway, like both just because he created, but also what he created is so. Like he created the idea and concept of love. God is love, you know. He created everything, you know, and that whole. I don't know. It just like, it's not just that he made it, but like how he made it and why. You know, for the sake of love. Also, I was thinking about this a little bit. How in Genesis it talks about it when God speaks, he speaks in both us and he. You know, do you know that? Like,
say that again.
Sorry, English language is my first.
Same. I struggle.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was over the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." Okay. Hold on. When did we get to... Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness. And let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over the livestock, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." So God created man in his own image.
Mm-hmm.
In the image of God, he created him, male and female, he created them. Isn't that both a singular and a plural?
You're
Us. Let's make them in our image.
Is that not referring to the Holy Spirit, Jesus, and
No,
God?
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But like God is a
From the
community.
get-go, he's a relationship.
Yes.
He's a personal being.
Literally already in community with himself, basically, right?
Yeah, right, yeah.
And
same
that's
way
why, as
Oh,
we're
that's
made
so
in his
cool.
image, man is not meant to be alone, just
That's-
like he isn't.
Oh, that's so cool, because how he made us, though, is that we are individual beings that are limited to our individuality, right? Where he himself, even though he's one, is still three.
Yeah.
We are simply one and can't be three.
God is...
We seek it in each other.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's really cool.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Where then that's the whole thing where with a wife, for us, if you're a chick listening to this, for a husband, you become one flesh.
Mm-hmm.
Two become one. The same way the three are one. Oh, that's so cool, dude. I'm all giddy right now.
Yeah, I know.
I'm fangirling.
Do you want to take a quick break? I have to piss.
Water would be good.
Piss and water.
Break.
I have more.
Go for it.
So I understand what you
around.
were saying about
Okay,
women being like miserable because of their pursuits, right?
Yeah.
I think that can be the case. Like I agree that could happen depending on like if you were forced into that lifestyle or not. You know, like if your family, if you were taught at a young age to do that instead of do what you want to do, right? I understand that absolutely. Whether or not it's like inherent because they're doing that they're just miserable. I don't know. It's a toss up because my mom, I don't know. She's never been miserable about her work. She didn't like.
No, I don't think so either. Like my mom, she works. She's also divorced.
Yeah. For
She,
different reasons, absolutely.
Well, for sure. But either way, she is a working woman. She was a single mother. She worked and took care of her kids. Until they flew the coop. Jeremiah's finally moving out, the last of us to do so.
Mm-hmm.
This will be this next year here after she moves into her place this weekend or the next weekend after that. It'll be the first time that she's alone. But even then, it's she doesn't want to work, but she's not like miserable by it.
It's
she's not
more
less happy
yeah.
necessarily. It's not. I think women are very capable. I don't want to say that they're not. I think they are. They will, just like my mom, in fact, they are extremely strong. What they do is they fill the void of a man who is not being a man. When there is not a man being a man, they fill that void to care for their man that isn't being a man.
That's a crazy take.
Yeah, that's what
know.
it is. That's my mom ended up having to take up the steering wheel and do both.
Yeah, be dad.
She had to be dad and mom rather than just being mom because dad wasn't dad.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Dad wasn't a man.
I think that mom can be mom while dad is being dad.
I feel like
but
it's
still be, like an entrepreneur. I don't feel like you stop being mom if you choose to do that.
No.
However, there is a balance. Because if you're just not being a mom, you're not being at home, you're not doing anything with your children. That's different. If you're just working and you're not home ever, you're only there for dinner. And a beer, and you're watching the fucking Knicks. I'm pretty sure that's a basketball team, right? The Knicks?
I don't know. I think it's a baseball team.
Maybe. I'm not a sport guy. Anyway.
Sounds more like old America baseball.
My big, hard opinion about men is if you are not trying to provide for your family, you do not deserve to have one. Like, if you're not trying to take some sort of reign, not control, but be in a position of authority, Like, there's 4 different parenting styles. Authoritarian, authoritative, dismissive, and I think neglectful or something. The other 2 are not really ones I care about. You kind of get the idea from those 2. Authoritarian is how you create children who rebel. Authoritative is how you create children that like try to communicate.
Yeah.
Because there's dismissive parents look like authoritative parents sometimes because they'll try to take control over their child by yelling, but then they'll just go and bang a hooker or whatever it is. I'm imagining a rich white family.
Do what I say, not as I do.
Not what I was thinking. I just mean like a kerfuffle between a Botox mom and her bitch daughter, and the mom like actually is just mad that her daughter got pregnant by a dude, but she's gonna just get an abortion anyway bad family. That's dismissive. You know, the mom might be loud, but she's dismissive. You know, but authoritative households where there is an authority, but it creates a community rather than a dictatorship. That's something like a man needs to be doing that.
Yeah.
You know, being a figure, someone you can go to, not someone you should be afraid of. That's what sucks a lot of the time. Trying to be someone like in my last relationship, I became a dad figure. Someone she was she wanted to. I don't think she was afraid of me. I don't think that's fair. But she was like, she lied to me, because like I might say something or do something. She didn't want to disappoint me.
Yeah.
So she lied to me, which arguably did more damage. Because like if you had told me that you like went drinking with someone and didn't keep that from me and just showed up, she showed up to my dorm like tipsy, you know, because she had half a shot of vodka, and I'm like, dude, half a shot is for you, this tall, this thin, that's enough. Like you're a little goobed right now on vodka. But she like kept that from me. She lied to me, and then I had to like get it out of her, which is not like, that sucks. Being in a like almost turning into an authoritarian figure, and I didn't want to be. I hated that, you know, because then people lie to you, and then you get more angry because they're lying to you, and then that creates more dissension, right? You know, and so that's why I imagine it's really hard for dads to be fathers of daughters, because it's hard to be an authoritative figure in a woman's life who she can talk to and not be afraid to talk to, right? And that's just something you have to like, you got to be very close to God about, you know, like as a dad, you have to be constantly trying to just bring everyone closer to Christ so that you don't have this issue of like dissension or anything happening under your nose because people are afraid of you. Am I making sense? Am I making dollars?
I mean, I was afraid of my own father because he was absolutely an authority figure, but he was very hypocritical, which, you know, when he came around, it's like my free time is over. I'm doing what he tells me to do, and I'm stuck with him till 3 a.m. You know, and then when we're out at 3 a.m., my mom told him, bring the kids back by 10. You know, it's 11, and he's telling her, well, we'll be there soon. And he's like, and we're driving 2 hours into Montana. You know, it's like.
Was he having you dump bodies?
No, we're going to get wood. We'd go get logs. Yeah, crazy. Anyways.
There's plenty of trees in
I don't know. It's state. Like a daughter or like a daughter-father relationship. I don't think you. Like that, a dissension only comes after lack of trust that you are okay with being disappointed, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like or rather disappointment it's not that you're disappointed, it's that it doesn't bring disappointment in you when something bad happens. Does that make sense? So when it comes to like a daughter going up to a father, afraid to disappoint him, if he's never made like the last time she got in trouble with something, the way he handled that is what then builds that trust or distrust to how the daughter will engage with him again after that with the next mistake. Right? Does that make sense?
Sure. I've zoned for a second. I'm sorry.
I can try and repeat it here. Yeah. Let's say I'm a daughter. Okay, let's say I'm a woman for a second. A chick, a girl with a dad.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah,
yes, a woman.
Yes, of course. Yes, pretty one. That's crazy. If I made some mistake, right, and I go to my dad, and when I tell him something, he either gets mad and or does something that makes me feel bad about it, that builds distrust. So then, of course, the next time,
you're not going to want to say anything.
I'm not going to want to say anything, or I'm going to say something different, so then he doesn't do whatever he did last time, right? So it's all about just building that trust where you listen to her and you don't make her feel bad about it, you know, it's I don't think it's necessarily
She'll feel bad
difficult
enough about herself.
Yeah, exactly.
If she came to you, that means she felt bad enough that she wanted to talk to you about it. It's not.
Well, yeah, but she will only do that when you have trust. I don't think it's.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like necessarily a weird balance to obtain. I think it's simply just being a man.
Yeah.
Like a real man of God, like you were saying, just keep it close to God. But I don't think it's up for the other people to like be also close to God, so then your relationship doesn't fail. I think it relies on your own ability to build that trust.
Yeah.
And to not break it.
What I want, as a dad, in the future, I want to instill very clearly into my kids, if I fucking have any,
Amen, brother.
lying is, to me, is worse than anything else you could do. I've seen so much shit at this point in my life that most of it won't shock me, right? Lying to me will shock me. Like, that hurts more than anything you could do.
What if I told you my favorite color wasn't orange? Not just kidding.
And you lied to me?
It totally is. Sorry, I'm sorry. Sorry, go on. I that was a bad joke.
Okay, sure. And so I feel like that's like the biggest thing. Like, so if my daughter got pregnant in high school or something, my first thought is, what do we do? Right? Like, are you going to keep it? Are you going to get rid of it? I don't think you should get rid of it. That wouldn't be Christ-like, you know? Do we want to, like, try to make it, I don't know. I don't want to, like, fucking yell at my child.
I don't think you yell at her, but
yeah,
in that situation, as somebody who has no experience whatsoever, and I've never thought about it before, I would probably say that I wouldn't want to make the decision hers. I would take that decision off of her, and I would tell her to keep it. But I wouldn't do it in a way of like, you're gonna keep it no matter what. You know, there's a way of delivering things that it would be in a much more loving manner. It's like, we're gonna do this together.
Yeah.
You're gonna have this kid.
You're gonna live here
but
now
I'm gonna
for a
be
while.
here for you,
Yeah.
and with you, and we're gonna get through this together, right?
Yeah.
You're not doing this alone.
Yeah.
But I don't think I would want to put that decision on her to make, because as a little high schooler, you have no idea what you're dealing with. If anything, out of fear, she would want to get rid of it, but then that also brings pain that she's not even aware of. That it would bring.
It'll bring worse.
As a
pain.
father who has the hindsight, right? I would want to make that decision for her, and then just help her through the consequences of that.
Yeah, because coming from a
and that's
biblical,
not taking control of her. That's
you knowing that there is a right answer.
It's taking that responsibility off of her.
I think it's yes, but also like as a Christian, the right
that too.
As a believer, the right answer: keep the child.
Yeah.
God and trust God.
Well, right.
You know.
Yeah. If I had no value of it, if I didn't have the conception of a soul, if you will, there'd be less value on a human life. Then.
It's like, oh, that's just going to cost money.
Yeah. Then just get rid of it.
Be gone.
Yeah. But
coat hanger that bitch.
Whew. Yes, sir. I got a few extra.
I don't know how to do that.
I don't either.
There's this totally out of left field. There's a stick trick.
What?
for drumline.
Oh.
That I learned called the coat hanger.
Oh.
You have both your sticks. You flip them out so one sticks up, one sticks like that. Arm in, out, splat, boom, bam. It was originally fully called the coat hanger abortion.
That's crazy.
But because that was like crazy to say, they just called it the coat hanger. But you're literally...
You're aborting.
Yeah, but it's a stick trick.
Crazy.
Sometimes we do it as like a timekeeping thing because it's eight counts.
What are other bad examples? What if your son comes to you and is like...
Shout out VMB.
What if your son is... Oh, man. What if you... Okay, you have a 17-year-old son. And he just banged a 17-year-old chick, right?
Crazy.
And then she comes out and says that...
He raped her?
He raped her, but he says that it was completely consensual. What do you do as a father?
Fuck. So either my son is lying to me or this woman is trying to ruin his life.
Yeah, see, I guess that depends a lot on your relationship with your son and how
Yes.
it's led up to that moment.
Right. It absolutely depends. If my son is lying to me, I have a big problem with that. Right. But I'm not going. Yeah. I mean, it's absolutely. If my son raped a woman, I don't want him to deal
Girl,
with
dude,
consequences.
even.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a girl at that point, not even a woman yet.
Yep.
Like, he's got to learn, don't do that. Whether he learned that on his own by going, fuck, that was a mistake, or whether he needs to learn it in prison. Like, I don't think as a man to a future man of this world could just be okay and say, don't let it happen again. Like, that's a big deal. Like, I think men need to be kind of drilled. Don't fucking rape women,
Yeah. Let's say for the sake of it that your son didn't do it. That he is telling the truth.
It was consensual in reality.
Yet this chick and her family is about to sue you and or take you to court or whatever to try to prosecute your son.
That's all I can do. Trust God. Pray for the family. Pray for the accusing, right? I would hope that God pulls my son out of this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If it goes to court, we're not gonna ignore it. We'll go to court, but I'm not gonna be, you assholes. It's gonna be why I oughta. That's like, if my son is innocent, right? And this woman is trying to ruin his life, I would have a problem with that woman, but I would want God to take that.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm not aware fully enough of the systems in place that would kind of follow that.
Well, nowadays, everyone just trusts women.
Well, I mean, okay, so that happens. Okay, then what? The cops are going to get involved somehow. Then from there, what? A court date is set in place for what?
At this point, beyond this,
Kids getting arrested.
you can't predict anything.
Yeah.
If, as soon as you tell me the boy was not lying, my son wasn't lying, he was telling the truth, this was a consensual activity that the woman has now turned into a lawsuit, right? After that, God is doing something. I don't know what it is, but he's doing something. If my son raped that woman, I'd be like, boy,
you're going to jail.
Come on. Like, if
You know what that is, dude? If that happened, then it would be much more of a, I failed you as a father.
Yeah, dude, I failed. I should go to prison, but you're going. I'm not getting raped in prison. That's you. Get a taste of your own medicine.
All right, son,
boy.
don't drop the soap.
Don't drop it, dude. You're going to get a piece of your own mind, all right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Off you go.
But yeah, I think that dads need to be strong. I'm tired of pussy men.
Amen.
Tired
Hallelujah.
of pussy men. There's too many of them. Like, don't be afraid to do something yourself, Like, your wife's car fucking breaks down. Don't be like, I'm calling AAA, whatever. Try and get out there. Do something. Be a fucking man. But if you can't, call AAA. But if you can, do something about it, Step up,
Be the one that your wife and children can rely on.
Yeah, be a reliable, jumping off point. In the Barbie movie. Sorry, I've been so mad about this one aspect of the Barbie movie. You've seen it, right?
No, actually. I've seen Oppenheimer.
That's kind of fucked. You haven't seen Barbie, dude.
I
It's
have
the
not
pinnacle of womanhood. There's basically, there's a character in the human world. It's a weird sort of dynamic, but there's a mom and her daughter, and the mom and the dad, basically. But the dad really is just a dumb man.
That's how it is in a lot of the cartoons and everything like that.
Yeah,
all the
just a dumb
family
man.
dynamics. It's the mom that does everything.
And the
it's
man is
dad.
dumb, yeah.
The dad is dumb, who neglects everybody and everything, and he's not capable of anything.
He's learning Spanish at one point in the car. And he's whatever it is, but like there was a part where they basically alluded to the mom having an affair with a man, and they were just like, "You're so cool, Mom." I was like, "That's fucked. Are you kidding me? That's not cool."
That is crazy.
Like, well, I knew this. Your yoga instructor or whatever. Like, that's not cool. You're not promoting women by being a fucking adulteress, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's fucked up. And I've had a problem with that one, like that movie. Also, there's this, I watched Barbie the second time here in Moscow during band camp a year ago, right? Some guys walked into the theater, and they were like, there was this long speech at one point where that mom, who had an affair, was giving a speech about what women should be, or she's like, they ought to be proper and nice, but they should also get their hands dirty, and like, it's this dumb speech. It was a weird, like...
That is weird.
Up until that point, the movie had not said anything explicit about feminism. And then they just kind of... a big feminist speech all at once. And I'm like, this is weird. I like the rest of the movie. Ryan Gosling's cool.
I do like Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
He's just like me.
So... I'm he, but I'll never be him.
Born to be Ryan, but forced
to be
Gosling.
But like there have been no explicit feminist statements or whatever in the movie up until that point, and then they just do a big weird speech that I feel like didn't add anything. It was just like meeting a quota. And during that speech, a group of guys were like, "Go fucking make me a sandwich, bitch," and walked out. Like they're watching the movie. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, they're watching the movie in this theater. That speech starts. They go, "Fucking get back in the kitchen," and leave. Funniest thing ever. I was dying. I'm like, those guys rock.
That's awesome.
It was funny. But everyone else in there was a band kid. And they're all weird, and we're like, this is profound and it's very important to our generation.
For sure.
This random woman in a Barbie movie is giving a feminist speech. I'm like, nice. That's so important right now. It's Barbie. Why are we making a big deal out of it?
It's interesting to me because I believe that Hollywood is a tool to subliminally change culture. It's a slow contortion of what culture is. It like Hollywood, when it started out, even a married couple would have separate beds because they didn't want to. They would sleep in separate beds because they didn't want to portray any promiscuity. Is that the word for it?
It depends on what you are trying to mean by that word.
They were trying to be proper, right? And they didn't want to show that on TV. Any of that more intimate side of relationships, if you will. Sex. So they literally had them sleep in different beds. So then eventually that combines. Then eventually you get to where we are now, where every movie's got boobies flying around on the screen.
Nice.
And it's, glorifying sex, if you will. And you can see how culture has followed that. I think a great example of it is, I need to learn more about it. I watched some crazy documentary on it. It's North Korea, during Kim Jong-il's era, Kim Jong-un is fascinated with film, and it's because his father used it as a tool to control his people. Oh, probably. And to control information and to start normalizing new ideas. Mm-hmm. So the same way, I don't know, I think all of our media, it kind of works towards one goal, and it's to normalize
something.
Normalize half-truths.
Yeah.
Which is the opposite of what God teaches morally.
You know what I was thinking about?
Including the roles of men and women.
Yeah. I've totally been...
I think the media now portrays, or rather pushes women to be masculine, which is the opposite of what they should be.
Yeah, I agree.
Like Brett Cooper, the one that I mentioned earlier.
Don't remember that name.
The political commentator chick. She talks about how she is stronger in her femininity. She is strong in her femininity. Femininity has strength. Mm-hmm. You don't have to be masculine to be strong.
Yeah.
And that's a major lie that is pushed onto all of the women in America right now. Every single one of them. If you're not masculine, then you're weak. That is such a lie.
Yeah, that's actually really interesting because people, it's like we've been coerced into thinking that that's what we've been taught.
Yes.
That femininity is weak, but
Yes.
it's not like biblical.
No, it isn't biblical.
No,
it's
isn't.
not. It's also
Masculinity and femininity literally is menness and womanness.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Which is how God made us.
If you're feminine as a woman, you're more
Womany.
you are more you. You are
Yeah.
more you. You are literally more in tune with yourself. You're more confident in yourself. You're stronger in yourself. You are
Yeah.
stronger as a person, as an independent individual with your own mind. You're
Yeah.
you are man. Yeah.
God's
and so
creation is so good.
it's perfect. And
It
then
is
so
perfect.
women now, feminism is all about being men. It's just a ton of wannabe men.
Essentially, yeah.
And then so they make themselves miserable chasing something that they won't make them happy anyways.
Yeah.
And then so all of our movies, I never watched the Barbie, but the feminism speech, it's like very subtle. I would argue they don't shove it into your face all the way. I mean, obviously that's pretty blunt, but the idea is that they don't. It's all about normalizing the idea. They don't need to sit you down and point a gun at your head and say, this is how you're going to think now. What they do is just slowly normalize it. So then as a kid, when you're growing up with these movies and seeing these things on screen, you expect it to be that way in reality. By the time you get to be an adult, it's not weird to you that is the status quo. Because it's always been
definitely
that way.
fucked up. I agree. I think you should still watch Barbie though.
Yeah, sure. Why
It's a
not?
good movie.
I don't want to spend money on it.
Yeah, I
'Cause
think
don't-
it's on it's on streaming services.
If I can watch it for free, then yeah, I'll watch it.
Dude, come over. Go to Post Falls in the morning. Watch Barbie with me in my apartment.
It's kind of a good idea, actually.
Please.
I'm down.
Fuck yeah.
I still might it depends on how tired I am afterwards, but
We're going to watch Barbie tonight.
I'm down.
I'm going to put
Yeah,
the cat in Justin's room.
that's fine. I'll cuddle with it.
We're going to watch Barbie
I may be
tonight.
allergic,
And then we're going to
but
make out a
It's
little.
not like my throat closes up or anything.
Yeah, no.
I won't be like, help.
I have an allergy medication you might want to try.
Nah, it's good. I don't want it. I don't take medications unless I really need it.
I'm a big guy.
That's
Dude,
right.
I'm serious.
I just don't trust the pharmaceutical companies.
This allergy medication, I feel it kick in.
Ooh,
Like,
I don't like that.
let me explain.
Okay, yeah.
I will be sneezing so much, and I'll be my eyes are itchy, and everything sucks, and I'm leaking out of my nose. Pop one of those. 30 minutes later, I feel it like It's not like,
yeah, good, yeah.
Yeah, like I noticed that I've stopped doing that. It's very,
Good, it's doing its job.
It works. I've never had an allergy medication just fucking work. If I take it before any of that stuff happens, whole day, don't even fucking notice. It's, I sneezed once today while I was weed whacking.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Usually, fucking,
Yeah, I'm always sneezing.
yeah, no, I'm
Over the
bad out in
summer?
the grass.
I love the winter, dude.
Winter what's your favorite season?
Winter. Are you kidding me, dude? It's so much better in every
It's
single
so
way.
much better in every single way.
Like comfortability wise.
Yes.
Winter is superb in every metric. Other than driving.
Winter rocks.
But even then driving, I'm not getting into an oven when I'm going somewhere. Gosh.
Have you ever,
I'll just wear a thicker jacket and I'm chilling, dude.
especially in Idaho, because it's so much
Yeah.
drier over here, it'll be -13. And I'm wearing 2 jackets. Boom.
That's what I'm saying. You're chilling, dude.
It's so nice.
That with jeans.
Speaking of winter,
Fine. Every house has a heater.
do you
No,
think-
not every house has an AC unit.
yeah,
Ah.
every house has a heater though.
Every house has a heater.
Mostly.
'Cause-
And
well-
a lot of Idaho homes, they're like wood fired now.
That's true.
Which is so cool to me. I
Oh,
love that.
yeah.
Bringing that back. Bring back wood fired pizza.
Is that gone?
No,
think I
it's
had
not.
some. Not too long ago. There's like a cool pizza joint up in Hayden.
When do you think Jesus was born?
Was it not 0? Year
I mean,
0?
month wise.
Oh. I don't know. I know like we celebrate on Christmas Day, but growing up I've been told that wasn't actually the day that he was born. We just celebrated on that day.
Yeah.
It would make sense if they were out in the middle of, like there was shepherds. Was it shepherds or farmers? It was shepherds, right? That came. The angel showed up and was like, "Your Messiah is being born. Go witness."
Well,
Right.
it was both shepherds and the 4 wise men.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
But it's like they were out doing stuff. I don't feel like if it was winter. But then again, it is the Middle East. I don't know how cold it gets in winter there. I don't know if it snows.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. You tell me.
You constantly have to be shepherding. Doesn't matter what time of the year is,
That's super true. But
Especially back then, it's like,
I guess, yeah, the Bible doesn't describe like how layered up they were.
yeah, and it's probably for a good reason. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Jesus was born. That's what matters. Is it only Matthew where the genealogy is? I'm pretty sure it's only Matthew that has the genealogy of Christ.
I think so. Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Right?
Dude, in
Matthew's
The Chosen.
autistic that way. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Oh, Matthew's such a good book. The genealogy of Jesus Christ. Matthew, then in Mark. Yeah, no. Mark starts with John the Baptist prepares the way. Luke starts with dedication to Theophilus. Birth of John the Baptist foretold. Anyway. The Word became flesh in the beginning. Oh, dude, okay. This is God. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things were made through him, and without him was not anything made that was made. In him was life, or was not anything made that which has been made was life in him. Crazy. And the life was the light of men. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. I love this one verse. The very beginning. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Everyone reads that as, and the Word was God, as though it was a past tense, he used to be God. To where it's like, well, is he still God? If you're using the word was, right? But I think...
Well, I think at the context of it, it was talking about the past.
Right.
It's like, read it again.
In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God.
It's talking about in the beginning.
Right.
You would say in the beginning, the Word is God.
Right.
It's like
when it says, and the Word...
was, still is, but it's not necessarily... I don't know. It doesn't beg the question.
In my autistic mind, I'm like, I need an is in there somewhere. But like the way I started reading that, instead of and the Word was God, I read it as and the Word was God. Do you know how it sounds different? Does it feel different? Say it. And the Word was God, and the Word was God.
Yeah.
It sounds very different. It feels very different.
Yeah.
Like, who was the Word? The Word was God. Not, and the Word was
but
God
in the
back
beginning.
then. Yeah. But like, was kind of implies used to be.
No, it doesn't.
Maybe I'm just retarded. English
Was
language.
just means that during that
second.
time it was. Which it was.
Yeah.
Still factual.
Anyway, I love the Bible. God's so cool.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Preach it.
From the rooftops.
Oh,
that was cool. That was
we
almost,
both said from the
almost there.
tops.
Yep.
Rooftops, mountaintops.
Great minds almost think alike.
Good enough minds think kind of alike. Yeah.
Almost, sorta.
Yeah.
Oh man, I want to watch the Barbie movie now. How does that even play out? Is it even good? Did you watch Oppenheimer?
I watched Oppenheimer. I did not like it as much.
No way, it was so good, dude.
I hated the promiscuity.
That's fair. There was some unnecessary.
It disgusted me.
Yeah.
I'm like, cool story, I guess, but this fucker is so inadequate as a man. A communist, which is 90% of the movie. A whole deal about him associating with the Communist Party. And the other half being that he wasn't faithful at all to his wife.
Yeah.
And they were just okay with that. Everyone was like, cool with that. And that annoyed me. And that's what made me not like the movie.
Yeah, I wonder if that's how he actually was. I'm assuming it was, right? So if you're portraying a real man and that's how it happened,
Yeah.
I see no reason to be, it's like the whole thing I was talking about where
Yeah, I don't
Hollywood
think
kinda
it was
controls-
orchestrated or crafted to be that way.
Yeah.
It was probably just storytelling,
Like, if
but
that's
like
how
it makes
he
me not like
was-
Oppenheimer as a man.
Fair enough.
You know? Like
Yeah.
even if they didn't craft the story to be like that,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just the way it was, and he did those things, it's like I don't like Oppenheimer. The movie,
I don't know if I have to respect him as a man, but the movie I was engaged in it the entire way.
yeah,
For sure.
it was definitely engaging. I have to say.
I don't think just because he's the main character on the movie doesn't mean he's like needs to be a good guy that I want to look up to,
Yeah,
But yeah, for me, I definitely enjoyed the movie throughout. Like, I thought it was awesome. Just the slow build up, just the never-ending tenseness of the entire movie. There's just a weight. There's just a weight that's on your shoulders as you're watching this man, I don't know, make some connections with his wrinkles up in his head. You know what I'm saying? It's incredible. I thought it was incredible. I thought Christopher Nolan's the one who directed it, right?
yeah,
I thought the shots of everything was awesome. Everything was very captivating in the way that they all kind of went about doing it, if that makes sense. Kind of the urgency of it all, too, along with the inevitable uncertainty of that they could even ignite the entire globe.
that was funny.
Along with the idea that they can...
I'm like, is that gonna happen?
Along with the idea and the weight of the after effects of doing it, after just destroying a whole city, men, women, and children, innocence, just evaporated.
Mm-hmm.
That's like
Evaporated,
evaporated
Okay.
in like a
vaporized.
it's a turning point of human history where we have never, like, humanity as a whole has never had to worry about the destruction of the entire world
Yeah.
until that moment.
Yeah,
After that moment, all of a sudden, the world ending was a serious possibility.
yeah,
Before then, it was never even a worry in people's minds. If one kingdom fell, that's it. There was never nobody ever held the power to destroy everything,
yeah.
right? So not only that, but there's just so much to it that made that moment in history orchestrated in that way on screen very captivating to me, and I loved it.
Yeah.
So cool. So awesome.
I'm trying to remember
Big
some of
bomb,
the-
go boom.
Some of the cool stuff. I liked when it went silent for
Yes.
the explosions. That was like most people are expecting just a fucking kaboom, but it's like, A,
It
you're
just
not gonna
held the
get
tense. It just held.
you're not gonna
held
get
the
a s-
intensity.
you're not gonna be able to replicate what that sounded like, right? To a good enough extent, but you can represent what it felt like.
Dude. That's a great way of saying it.
You know?
Plus, when it
Completely
first goes off,
silent.
you wouldn't hear it at first anyway.
Yeah,
would take a
especially
lot
if
of
you
time.
fucking died, you wouldn't be hearing anything afterward.
So true.
And I think that might also be part of why it was just silent. But like capturing that weird, like everything kind of, it was only breathing, wasn't it? All you heard was breathing.
Yeah, it was just like a slight breeze, if even.
Nothing else. Boom.
Just lights up everything.
Yeah.
So cool, dude.
You know what I was just thinking about? Nothing Oppenheimer related. You remember earlier when I'm pivoting hard right now.
Do it. Yeah,
Because
go
I
for
was
it.
just thinking
Yeah.
how I said when I'm like tapping and music is playing, I shut down.
Mm.
I started tapping to a song that's playing in my head while you were talking. Everything shut off. All I could think about was the song.
Oh, wild.
And then afterward, I stopped, and then it was still playing in my head, and I'm like trying to fucking reset so I can focus on you geeking over Oppenheimer. And I'm like this. I just realize sometimes how fucking ingrained music is inside of me. It's weird.
Yeah. What's
I don't
funny
know.
to me is that I don't have that.
It's yeah.
I don't think there's a single song out there where I even know every single lyric. I can't sing along to a single song completely. I don't
Yeah.
think that I've ever, and it doesn't bug me that I can't. I mean, it'd be fun, but like, I don't think a lot of people do have a music itch that I don't relate to. There was a long time, even as a child, like it was literally up until I guess I got my car, where I literally believed that once I had my car, I wouldn't even listen to music.
That's crazy.
I just didn't listen to music. It's not something that I
That's so bizarre to
prioritize.
me.
It's not something that I desire to do. I mean, I love music, especially like now. Like I love music. I have a huge playlist, a few of them. You know, I turn them
Dancing
on all
like
the time.
David.
I'm listening to it when I work and or drive. But it's silence, like, or the absence of music doesn't bug me, and music doesn't seem to scratch that itch that so many people seem to have for me. It's interesting. I think, at least to me, it's like the differences between each person and what makes us unique and or common to the other man. You know, it's some of us have something, some of us don't have the other things. It's really, I don't think I have that music itch. I've never desired to be a musician, never desired to do any of that jazz. I mean, it would be fun to make a song, but I don't think I would be like emotionally attached to it like maybe some other people who are passionate about it. You know,
I don't know how. Man, it just doesn't. It feels like blood.
what does blood feel like?
It feel. I
like
mean,
blood
like
going
it
through me
feels
real
like
quick?
it's part of me. Like I get thirsty for music. Like right now, I'm just thinking about this one song and how much I want to be. Like it's food or something in my mind. Which, by the way, I'm making you Annie's mac and cheese tonight, whether you like it or not, because I want some. Do you want some?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I'll make 2 boxes.
Yay! Man, I thought for sure.
I wasn't gonna do it. That's called trust building.
Yeah, you're trying to rebuild trust that's been lost.
So I can do it again
so
someday.
you can re-destroy me. in my-
The next time I too slow you, you can call it off. You can kick
I'm
me
gonna
out.
trip you, and I'm not gonna help you get back up.
First fight Joe's ever been
I'm just
in.
gonna grab your glasses and throw them somewhere in the bushes. Good luck
Okay.
finding them. That's devious.
By the way, I
hope
feel
nobody
like
ever does that to me.
the thumbnail should be both times we took off our glasses because we both did.
Really?
Yeah.
Here, you just wanna
Oh shit.
make it funny.
Okay.
Cool.
But there, like earlier, I took off my glasses to pretend that you were a woman, and you took off your glasses.
Oh, yeah, right.
Just
Just
and
because.
it was uncanny. I was like, that should be it. We never looked like that. I don't know.
Do you always wear your glasses? Do you have contacts?
I work in contacts.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yesterday
'Cause
I
I swear
wore
it's not weird
contacts
to-
all day.
It's not weird for me to see you without glasses on. Take them off right now. Yeah, it doesn't look off.
Because I've done both.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe
a lot.
that makes sense. Because
I
seeing you,
I wear.
seeing you on both, under both, wearing both. There we go.
I used to wear.
Found the right word.
I think during the school year I wore contacts almost exclusively for some parts because it would help me wake up in the morning because it's something wet and cold getting my eyes open. You know, when I put the contacts in.
Yeah.
But then, like for work, I use them. I have to use them. For marching band, I'll have to use them because my glasses are going to be sliding off because it's a fucking workout to carry those drums around. And I'm like, you know, all that shit. Glasses keep falling down. I can't go from like this to doing one of those. Like,
Yeah,
that's fucking
right,
annoying.
yeah.
Especially during games, we wear sunglasses. And I'm not going to wear those over my glasses, so I wear contacts.
Absolutely.
But right now, it's really nice to not wear contacts
It's
all
more
the time.
relaxing to wear glasses.
I wake up, put them in, go to work. When I get home, I pop them out and come here, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because I like being able to not see sometimes. Like this,
It's relaxing, I would argue.
yes.
Yeah,
Everything's blurry, but like, I'm okay with
there's
it.
less stimulation through the eyes.
I'm pulling out every stop on my autism right now because I was talking about this at work earlier.
Yeah.
My boss, Robert, commented on it and was like, I don't know what the fuck this dude's saying like half the time. And I was saying, like, I mentioned if I am trying to smell something distinct to find out what a smell is and there's noises, I have to close my ears or tell people to shut up and then close my eyes so I can identify the smell.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Does it?
Yes, because when you like
Everyone makes fun of me for that.
No, that makes sense because when you turn off one sense, your brain kind of puts the energy towards the ones that are still on. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like at night when I close my eyes, I can hear things better. It's because I'm focusing on my ears.
Yeah.
Because I can't see anything.
But like,
it's a like when I'm driving and I'm trying to read signs, I'll turn down the music. It's because I'm focusing on what I'm seeing rather than what I'm hearing.
Okay.
It's like
you're saying that's normal? I think we're the only.
No, we're not.
I don't know anyone else who does that.
I know the turning down the music to read more signs and stuff while driving is absolutely not just a me thing.
I do.
The smelling thing makes sense. My sense of smell is already so minuscule. So I don't think I've ever like purposefully tried to close my eyes and or ears to do that, but it makes sense to me. That makes sense.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad that makes sense to you.
That's not a weird thing.
My friends, none of them understand it.
Yeah,
they all make fun of me because they're like, they can smell something and see and hear at the same time. Fuck. They use all of their senses.
That's crazy. Maybe you and I are just defective.
Yeah, dude.
That's up high. No, dude, I'm not doing it.
Sideways?
No.
What do you want from me?
Trust.
Good luck, pal.
Shoot. Yeah, that's too bad.
But yeah, it's and I have a big light sensitivity. I was in Hawaii a couple years ago, and out on the beach, I had 3 pairs of sunglasses on and I couldn't see.
That's crazy.
It was
you
so
do blue
bright.
eyes.
But like my mom has blue eyes, and she wore 1 pair of sunglasses
Gotcha.
and she could see. I couldn't see.
Yeah, that's an autism thing.
I have a big my senses are heightened. Like my hearing, I'm really sensitive to hearing. I really cherish my hearing now, especially because I'm like a musician. I like being able to hear. If I can't hear my music anymore, I will consider dropping out.
There was a solid month where I
life.
Was deaf in my right.
Oh yeah, has that gotten better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. There was a solid month of it like got clogged. There's like okay, so the ear canal, it connects to one of your sinuses. Mm-hmm. I had a really bad sinus infection after some sickness, if you will. Mm-hmm. I get them like once a year. It sucks. But this one was by far the worst one I've ever had. Mm-hmm. And one Friday before it really got bad, all of a sudden my right ear just, I heard it go like down in volume, if that makes sense.
Wow.
It was very sudden, just all of a sudden, and then it was a sharp pain. And it's like, oh. I was like, I'm immediately stopping what I think I was like editing a video or something. I immediately stopped that and I drove up to my mom's because I was in agony and I don't have any pain meds here. So I generally try and stay away from all pain meds because I don't trust the pharmaceutical companies. But when it gets bad enough, I will give in. And that was bad enough. So at that point then, I was just in agony with the sinus infection and I couldn't hear out of my right ear. Eventually, the sinus infection actually went away after like a week. It was awful. Worst sinus infection I've ever had.
Yeah.
My hearing didn't come back. And every now and then the pain in my ear would come back. It was kind of, it would kind of go on and off and it would just slightly hurt with no hearing, or at least a very, very dim hearing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Very low volume. Really sucked to have a misbalance in the ear. I would be trying to talk to people and everything felt muffled.
Yeah.
I'd be like in a table around, like if 5 people were all having a conversation, I wouldn't be able to hear half of them. If any of them at all of their voices would then mix together and I wouldn't be able to distinguish.
Yeah.
Which was new to me since I've always had 2 functioning ears.
Mm-hmm.
Usually you can't turn your ears off. You're just subjected to hear everything that goes on around you. But when you only have one ear, I was shocked to feel how much more difficult it was to actually understand people. Yeah, and then eventually, you know how you can pop your ears? Yeah, like you'll feel it pop, especially on a road trip or going up and down a plane, changing of elevation.
Yeah.
My right ear would not pop. So it was an awful feeling of just pressure the entire time. And so the sinus infection, what it probably was is that the canal, my ear canal between the sinus and the ear, it was just full of mucus probably. and just built up pressure, and it would not clean out. And so eventually, just over a month, one day, I remember I was up in Post Falls driving to my cousin Austin's house, or rather on the way home, I was in the car with my brother Jeremiah. All of a sudden, my right ear popped for the first time in a month. I've never felt so good. I can't. It kept popping, and it was weird. It was going like from, I can hear everything again for the first time, and it was so clear, and it felt so good to, I would pop it again, and I can't hear anything again.
Yeah.
But then it was so, I went from a month of not being capable of popping it to flip-flopping, popping, and eventually it just slowly but surely cleared away, and I can hear again.
God, I love that.
Yeah. It
sucks at first, but like, dude, it's like popping a bone after not doing it. It's just, God.
But like when I used to, people would throw around the question of, would you rather lose, like out of all the senses, what would you rather lose, especially when it comes down to hearing and sight? I was always a firm hearing kind of guy. I'd rather see with my eyes and go deaf. But it's like, man, just going a little while without having an ear, dude, that sucks.
Yeah, it sucks.
Sucks. I was sitting there, you can't listen to your favorite song anymore the same way.
Yeah.
You can't. It doesn't hit the same when one ear can't hear. It can't hear. It's like, imagine going fully deaf. I would never be able to hear my mom's voice again. I'd never be able to. You just can't participate in society, in community the same way.
Yes.
And that is a terrifying thought, especially because I didn't know if my ear was going to come back or not. There was a lot of pain going on in there. And for all I knew, that I permanently damaged my eardrum. If anything, it probably still slightly had damage. Like even now, it's just not enough to make like a major noticeable difference.
Yeah.
But if you were able to measure it somehow, I'm sure it could hear like some decibels less or something. But yeah.
I remember I had I always wear my AirPods. Like, I can't really wear them at work, but when I'm doing stuff that's like my boss is not going to interrupt me for a long time, my AirPods are in. When I'm at school, doesn't matter. They're in. I don't fucking care. I'm listening to music right now. You're saying dumb nerd shit. I'm jamming.
That's right. Yeah, you're cool.
Fucking loser talking about math. That's why I had to take Calc 3 twice.
I'm over here booming and banging.
I'm banging in the back of the class. Let's be real. Anyway.
That was good.
I had mashed so much fucking goo into my ears.
Ooh, icky.
Just because I always have my
That's
AirPods
grody.
in. I lost hearing for a minute out of this ear.
Mm-hmm. Your left.
Because it was packed full of shit.
Nice.
And then Sam came by with this slop. You put it in there and let it soak for 15 minutes. Then you take a little baby sucker deal filled with water.
Oh, yeah, I do that. Oh, maybe I don't.
I could hear I heard better in this ear than in this ear. So I did this ear, and then it was like, it's never going to compare. It's never going to get better. Now I bet if I did the DNA, because my ears are definitely, I can feel them getting full.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a little earwax thing. You got to clean it out. I get a lot of earwax. Anytime I go to the doctor, throughout my childhood, I would have a problem where my ears would fill up with wax. And I would be picking in my ears or something like that, and I would kind of build it up, And so I'd have to go to the doctor, and they'd grab their water squirter and just destroy my ear trying to get it all out.
Yeah.
And they would always be shocked at how much was in my ear. They would say, I think the last time was probably that experience, because I was all up in my ear trying to fix it, if you will. And I ended up going to the doctor, and they did the same thing that I've done all my childhood.
Did you ever
started squirting my ear, and I broke the record
for
how much water they actually had to use to squirt it all out of my ear.
That's crazy.
We got to the fourth bottle, and the nurse doing it, and she's like, "Oh, the farthest I've ever gone to is 5," and I emptied the 5th bottle.
Yeah. That rocks, dude. That also sucks.
But
then it rocked later when it. Oh, dude, when your ear pops.
Whatever, dude. I mean, it makes me more grateful for it, but I would have rather just had my hearing. All the time. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Anyway. I don't know. I have a big sensory issue. Like, senses are fucked up in my head. If I lost my hearing, I'd kill myself.
Do you think you actually have Down or what? Not Down.
Down
That's
syndrome.
crazy. Do you think you actually? Do you think you have autism? I mean, I know you said you have. You've even like named it. I think, right?
I was diagnosed
Right.
with mild Asperger's.
So what does that mean? Do you know what that
Well-
entails? Because all your symptoms that you're describing is that something that goes within that.
Nowadays, Asperger's is a type of autism, and because there's kind of
My
different,
cousin has it.
yeah, it's been combined into one thing called ASD, autism spectrum disorder, which is autism is a weird like.
It is.
It's more of a spectrum than an on or off thing.
Yeah. Right.
Which I hate spectrums, but that spectrum makes sense. And also the problem with that spectrum is now women can get diagnoses for autism and be like, guys, I'm different. And it's like, dude, you like color coding. Fuck you. Like, you're not autistic.
Like OCD and all that.
Yeah, like, no, you're not autistic. That's the problem with ASD, is that it makes it too easy to, like, say you're neurodivergent.
Yeah, right.
Right? When you're really not. You're just picky or something, like fucking suck it up.
Yeah, like you.
I don't really like the idea of saying that I have a disorder or anything, but I notice that there's like things that maybe not other people have to deal with.
Yeah.
That I
mean, yeah, there's like a reality of it, but you also don't want to be a victim about it.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
want to be like,
exactly.
guys, I'm autistic as shit.
Guys, treat me different.
Treat me differently. I don't like that.
Yeah, no.
I want people, I guess I want them to be mindful that it could be like an explanation if I did something.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
Maybe
Sam,
bestow you a bit more grace.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But the problem is I'm actually starting to hate that because
Okay.
Sam would be like, maybe it's his autism that's doing this. And I'm like, a disorder can never explain something that I've done. Like, it can't excuse or explain anything. I hate that.
Mm.
Like, maybe it's just because he's autistic that he's this mad or whatever. It's like, no, I don't combine those two things.
Yeah.
Autism, like, or whatever I fucking have, mild Asperger's, ASD, whatever it is, I can attribute that to my issue with I don't have filters when it comes to like intake, Like, if a bunch of people are talking, I can't, like, tune into one, really, without one ear always being listening to other things. And I'm like, I want to react to that, right? But
Yeah.
I can't turn it off. I'm like, if I'm talking to you, but there's other people talking, I have to fucking tell myself to lock in. And even then, I'm like hearing someone talk about fucking communism on my right, and I'm like, God, I want to give them a piece of my mind. But it's different, and there's like things I've noticed that are like definitely ASD related that I have to deal with. But I'm never gonna chalk, like, don't ever say that something I did is because of my autism. Like, don't say that to me. Don't ever try to do that. Like, oh, he's just being pissy because he's autistic or whatever. Like, no. I'm being pissy because I'm pissed. I'm being pissy because X. Like, no, no, it's not. There's no excuse. There's no explanation. Shut up. Stop, like, attributing it to stop trying to explain it away.
It's kind of as if he was taking less responsibility in it.
Yeah.
Because he blamed, he was like blaming your autism as a source of overreacting.
He started doing a similar thing about his ex, where he was saying that maybe she has bipolar, and if she does, I'll be more gracious. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Like, it just feels wrong to be treated differently because you have a disorder. Keep it in mind, be like, okay, he has that. Maybe I don't make a joke about it. I don't actually give a shit. Know that that's maybe the case. I actually don't really care if you know or not. But like, I don't want it to ever excuse or explain anything, and I don't want you to use that as like evidence for something, I don't know. I'm kind of using bland words to try and get my point across. Anyway, my brother, for some reason, Devin, he
love him.
He fights me about whether or not our dad has autism. Our dad expresses some autistic traits, and my mom, like, having known him for so long, says, like, Dillon, that's where you got it from. Your dad, that side of the family, for sure. You got the bipolar weird stuff from my side of the family. I don't have bipolar, but there's trickle-down Reaganomics sort of shit with my mom's family history. Devin definitely got the bipolar half. Dude, literally, like, I walk into his room, he's like, what? I walk away, come back, he's like, oh, hey. Like, literally, NPC dialogue reset sort of deal. But, like, Devin hard fights against the concept or even idea that my dad could be autistic. For some reason. I don't know why. I'm like, why is it a bad thing that he has it? And he's like, he doesn't. Well, like, that just doesn't answer my question. Why does that hurt for you?
Yeah.
To, like, think that our dad could have autism. Like, why does that suck for you so bad? He doesn't.
Do you think he's closer to him?
In a way. I think Devin tries to defend our father, who are in
You know, it's like me and my brothers. There's 4 of us, so I have 3 brothers, right?
That's yes.
Sound like Kamala
math,
there
1
for a
plus
second.
3.
Ukraine is a smaller country. Russia's a bigger country. Both in Europe.
What the fuck was that from?
That's Kamala Harris. Back when the Ukraine war started, that's what I sounded like.
All right.
I have 3 brothers, so that's 4 of us or whatever. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. Basically, we all have, especially growing up, it's really fun to talk to each other about it because we all had a different dynamic and experience with our dad when it comes to the way that we either sucked up to him or rebelled against him.
Yeah.
Where my brother Caleb, he was following my dad step by step, loved him, literally would put himself in harm's way to defend him. Where my brother Josh told him to F off and screw you and rebelled in every single possible way. I feared my dad. Jeremiah and I were much younger. So, you know, like my older brothers, Caleb and Josh, they were 8, you know, they grew up they were men by the time my dad was out of the picture. Jeremiah and I were 12. So our relationships were a little bit different, but Jeremiah was much more like Caleb and I was much more like Josh. Just in less extremes, if you will.
Yeah.
So it's like the same way then Josh would have been arguing with Caleb about who dad was. And there would be conflict there.
Interesting.
And it was 2 different perspectives because they valued their father in different ways. Their father literally meant different things to each other, to them. So it's like, that's what it is. It's, you know, it's, to Caleb, when back in the day, you know, he literally put our dad on a pedestal, right? He was an idol, if you will. He was somebody worthy of his following, of his worship.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's, so then anybody who tells him that there might be something that is in his mind a negative trait, then that can't be. Then you're attacking our great father. I don't know. So I don't know if that rings any bells or if that makes sense to you with your own relationship with your brother, and your father.
That makes sense. Devin he decided to stay with our dad full time after the divorce. Partly that's due to my mom, because she was like, Devin's never been happy in the Mill Creek house. All of his friends were in Everett. So, Dev, you should stay with your dad. So we lived in Everett. And then the whole family moved to Mill Creek, divorced. Dad goes back to Everett because we rented out the house. We didn't sell it. Which was a smart move.
Yeah,
honestly.
That was, yeah. Especially with hindsight now.
And and all of our friends from our whole lives were in Everett. And Devin hated it in Mill Creek. He had a hard time there. So my mom was like, I know it sucks, but maybe he should stay in Everett. He'd be happier there. And Devin sees that as our mom being an asshole and wanting to get rid of her son, whereas my mom sees it as she shouldn't have sent him away like that because that's not what she intended. She didn't intend to send him away. She wanted to make her son happy. So my brother has always been around my dad, our dad, and he's kind of become, I mean, he's like our dad's defender in every capacity. And I see our dad as, I mean, I love my dad.
Well, he doesn't, he's his own man. He doesn't need somebody to defend him.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Devin has some, he thinks that because our dad can't get into the garage and doesn't use the garage ever, that Devin can do whatever he wants in there. And I'm like, dude, that is dad's space. He owns that space still. He might not use it, but he still wants that to be nice. If he can have control over anything in his life, if he can't fucking control the way his body moves anymore, like he wants to control his house, let him control something, because like having ALS, he walks around like he's 80. He turned 60 this year.
Yeah.
I think 64, probably not 64 years old, but 1964.
Yeah, 60 then. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was his birthday.
He's a nom baby.
Sure. Definitely Gen X, Generation X, Generation Strange, Limp Bizkit reference. You know who you are. Freddie D. Anyway. But yeah, Devin, I don't know. He defends our dad in a weird way and at the same time also defiles isn't the right word, but like battles. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Devin's a strange man. But he's Devin, so.
I can't wait to meet him.
Yeah. They're coming on the 8th, by the way.
Okay. I'll have to look at my calendar.
Okay.
Because I think my grandma's coming into town the 7th, 8th, and 9th. I made it time to hang out with her.
You said it was the 9th that intended to hang out with her last time.
I did? Okay, then it's the 9th. I don't remember. I just know I have it written down.
But, yeah, whatever. We don't have to do it, but you can.
I'd be so down.
Yeah, I absolutely want him to be on, but he'd be here on the 8th. We'd have to do it that night.
I would love to.
Anyway. Yeah. I don't know. I've always seen my family differently. I've always felt very independent, yet dependent at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't want to rely on people, but I am constantly relying on people, Mm-hmm. And I don't know. It's a weird battle.
Hearing about people's relationships with their family has always been fascinating to me. Because with my family, every family has their own dynamics and different capacities of relationship, right? There's it takes a lot of people to make up a family, and people come with a lot of burdens. You know what I'm saying? It's depending on how the people are and how they manage those burdens, whether they put it onto their family and or keep it to themselves, or maybe a mixture of both. There's probably a healthy way of doing it depending on what it is, of course. It can make or break a family, or make or break that specific person's connection to the family, mm-hmm. right? It's really interesting then to hear other people's families, because even through my dad and mom's divorce, like I am still so close to my dad's side of the family. Because of the bond that my mom has, along with her kids, me, and my siblings, with that side of the family. Just because my parents divorced, they are still our family. I'm still related to them. Mm-hmm. Just because my dad is no longer in the picture doesn't mean that I want to leave them. Yeah. That would hurt more than anything. It's like, I don't know, like different dynamics. So interesting. I've never met a family like my own. I am so blessed to be in the family I have. It is incredible. And yeah.
I like your family. I don't even know half of them.
They're all awesome.
I know 2 of them, and they're incredible.
Thank you.
I love your mom.
You met my brother, mom. Haven't you?
Yeah, I met Jeremiah.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Jeremiah rocks.
Doesn't-
He is you.
he's-
You all three of you are the same fucking person. It's hilarious.
There's
to
more
me.
of us. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I gotta meet him someday.
yeah, it's kind of a fun joke. The four of us brothers, at least, when we're all in the same room. Although my family, how it works, like at a family gathering, this isn't done like forcefully. It just kind of happens. Usually, all the men kind of group together, and then all the women group together, and we all like converge every now and again, right? But it just so happens to kind of turn out that way, and it's really fun because especially it's all us four brothers, they know what. There's something that happens, and it's basically that we all flip a switch, and then we're all the same person. We're all the same person in the same room. It's awesome. I love it. It's so much fun. All of a sudden, they're like, I have two sister-in-laws, right? Married to my two older brothers, and their reaction to seeing all of us in the same room is priceless. I don't know how to describe it other than we literally become one person.
Four become one.
Yes. Like all of the jokes, they don't know what is a joke or not, because we're a very dry, sarcastic family, and we're just throwing around random nonsense, all laughing at it, and they don't know what to laugh at, but we all do. I don't know. It's kind of fun. I'm just geeking out over my own family. I don't know how to like explain it to an outsider. To an outsider who's never seen.
I want to see it. Take me to a fucking family reunion. Call me your boyfriend.
Ayo.
Yeah.
I'll call you my girlfriend. Then you'll show up and you'll have a penis. That'd be good.
That's a good one. Write that down. John?
Say that on a stage.
Yeah.
Later. Yeah, I don't know. It's cool. I wish more people had a family like mine. That's for sure. Not to belittle others' families, but
That's not belittling. That's
I can't
literally like, I
imagine-
wish people had this fucking awesome dynamic.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
fun. I don't know how people get through life without it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I have people that I can fall back on and talk to while also not being, they don't, like none of us burden each other, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's all up, especially when it comes to Christ, very Christ, how do you say that? Foundationed, like not as a verb, but as our whole family has Christ as a foundation.
Yeah,
pretty much, right? So we all have similar values. We all have similar beliefs. We are not all the way agreeant on theology even, but it's fine because we all know that Christ died on the cross for our sins. You know what I'm saying? And even before then, because of that firm foundation in Christ and that lack of judgment then and that true love and grace, even when we turned away from Christ because of our experience with our father in the past, we were not turned away ourselves by our family, right? They still showered us in the love of Christ and the acceptance of Christ. And it's because they truly have the Holy Spirit within them. It's so awesome. And I look up to all of them.
My family.
I love them so much, dude. Yeah. And my cousin Bryce, who's Asperger's, he's awesome. He's I love geeking out about him because he's such a particular fella. There's a few things that he's so passionate about, and he is that's his everything, right?
Yeah.
And one of those things is the family. He is one of the most selfless people I know. It probably goes like my mom, then him.
Yeah.
It's like he is. If you need something, it like he'll sit there and he'll go, "Oh, okay." Like if you ask him for something, even though he has work the next day, he would rather stay up all night and go to work without sleeping just to help you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know how to express how selfless he is other than he's just an incredible part of the family, even with his autism, if you will. It's I love him. I love him so much.
Yeah.
He's a joy to be around.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Anyways,
So my family,
yeah.
the Christians,
yeah.
the Christ-centeredness didn't start until my dad.
Yeah.
And technically my mom's
First generation, eh?
My mom's
Right.
parents are believers, but they didn't, I don't know, they weren't exactly good people when my mom was growing up. So they've gotten better. They were definitely like fucking JFK Democrats or whatever back in the day.
Let's go.
I don't know. Boomers, am I right? Voting left until they vote right.
I like JFK, so.
Oh, well, I hate to break it to you.
He's kind of open-minded.
Yeah, you got to have an open mind about these things.
I like him, though, because he was trying to abolish the CIA, and then they killed him for it.
Yeah, funny. Anyway, so my dad.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
My dad's family, not believers. Then it was my dad, right? So there's not a really big, greater family Christ foundation, right? It's very localized.
Yeah.
Especially since the divorce, it's been like kind of questioning my mom's faith in Christ and all that. And I don't know her relationship with Christ, so I'm not.
Have you asked her?
I have in the past, but I don't talk to her a whole lot about it.
Yeah.
My mom wants a big family conglomerate, like sort of compound sort of deal.
That'd be awesome.
She wants there to be a big family business. She didn't want to be kicked out.
A family compound would be cool.
Well, here.
Okay.
Let me explain.
Okay, I'll listen.
A compound for your family would rock.
Yeah, we've always wanted it.
Yeah.
However, ever since meeting Christ and like trying to now prioritize His will for me, I've questioned whether that'll happen or not, and I've come to accept that it may never, because that like separating myself from people to live with my family. I don't know.
I don't think that's separating yourself. I'm pretty sure that's having your family in one big area and being able to. It's like a community in one space. You're not locking yourself in. You're just.
I guess not.
Grouping yourself together.
Yeah, it depends.
But anyway.
Anyways.
My mom, she didn't want to kick my stepbrother and I out at 18, right? She wanted, because she and my stepdad have the money to help and support us, they're gonna.
Yeah. They
didn't want us to have to do what she had to do back in the day. Because we don't have to, being able to be one big family unit, even into our, adult years. At some point, I'm going to be paying for my own shit. But right now, I'm I get an allowance, which is kind of awesome. But, and my school's paid for. And honestly, that means I should be working harder in school. But I don't know. This past, several months has been, almost a year, has been awful. But, to where school has been harder. But, my mom she has this idea of a greater, family, I don't know, big unit that's we're all kind of micro-socialists with each other sort of deal. I don't know how to describe it. But
that you're able to
we're not split away.
Rely on each other.
Yeah, we can rely on each other.
You're close-knit.
Yeah, see, that's what she wants.
I would argue, not to call out your mom, but the idea that her career, I feel like if she left that and made that idea, that dream, more of a priority, she'd be able to make it happen.
No, she is. She's actively making that happen.
She's doing both?
Yeah, because she's working, she's a self-employed, or she's about to be self-employed again. Probably by the time this comes out, she'll be self-employed again.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, and she and Scott are making moves to have generational wealth.
That's awesome.
So that we don't have to suffer, and try to make it ourselves, so that our families can be provided for,
Cool.
So they're working their asses off. They're over in, Western Washington. I'm not going to see them all the time, so that they don't need to be constantly interacting or whatever. So she's honestly not sacrificing much to be working her ass off because she wants to work her ass off. She kicks ass.
Ballin'. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
good.
Anyway, different homes, different strokes, different lives, different worlds.
Cool, dude.
How are you feeling, Joe?
Tired.
Me too.
Good, though.
You want to watch Barbie?
It took me a while to get into this. I do want to get Barbie, but all of a sudden we started talking about Jesus, and that nothing gets me more excited. Yeah.
Watch Barbie, eat mac and cheese, kiss a little.
Pet a cat that I'm allergic to.
Yeah, dude. Fuck yeah.
All right, cool. This was Dillon Atterberry, everybody.
Part 3.
Part 3.
Yeah. Fucking same hat every time.
Subscribe.
Maybe not the second time.
Woo.
You
All
do
right.
your fucking thing? Okay.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Do you have any final remarks?
Free Palestine. Free Kanye.
Dude, did you see how they just raided the something in DC? They just they graffitied the Liberty Bell and everything like that, and it's all like support Hamas.
Nice.
They were burning the American flag.
Free Hamas.
Gosh, shut up, dude.
I don't know.
All right, cut. Thanks for watching. I hope you all enjoyed the podcast. If you want to support us, you can find us on Patreon. The link will be in the description. If you join the Patreon, you'll get each episode a week early, along with some maybe blooper reels, all sorts of fun stuff that we might end up cutting out of the regular episode.
Oh, yeah.
You'll also be supporting the team, me, Dillon, and John behind the camera. It's a little skeleton crew we got going.
Links in the down under.
In the land down under.
See, that's funny because that's Australia. Yeah, you guys can find us on any of the big podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, I guess. If that was a podcast platform, that'd be great. Yeah, we'll see you in the next episode.
God bless you all.
It was good.
That was good.
I like the little shitter about the YouTube thing.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
funny.
that was good. Ow, dude. Ow.